Hello. So I always wanted to look pretentious and do this thing, so I'm going to start saying it. What follows is a deep interview with a lot of the core developers of the Python core team in the ARM offices in Cambridge.
This is based on a true story.
Exactly, yes. We hope you enjoyed this episode. It has been recorded through a lot of pizza and carbs, and thanks to Diego and the ARM team. And we have been very lucky to share this week with everyone, and we are very thankful to all of them for having shared their time with us. It's not always easy. And also we are thankful for the ARM audio team, because we are known to cause a lot of pain to all the audio people at different events.
Only at every event.
Yes, only at every event in the past 3 years, I think. And this case was no exception.
No yes.
And we forgot, I forgot all the equipment that I was supposed to bring. But through, like our friend Diego, we have been given this mic I'm using right now, and this room, and a lot of thanks a lot for the ARM people for making this podcast possible. So we know that this basically recording has been what is right now 4 hours, or like close to 4 hours. So no amount of Gukaslanga magic editing is going to reduce this under 3 hours and a half. So probably you will be listening to 2 episodes.
Yes.
Unclear if they're going to be together or a stage, but we believe that this is a very interesting insight into how core development works and what different people are working. You will be learning about things that will appear on Python 3.15, so you will learn them here first, and you don't need to read all the PRs in CPython to know, and you will know what different people are working on and how diverse our team is.
Yes, we are going to be hearing directly from the team members. We interviewed as many as we could, and no giraffes were harmed in the creation of this episode.
Not a single giraffe, perchance. Hello, sir. Do you want to present yourself?
Hi, I'm Kenjin. I work on CPython, and I have been called there for almost 4 years now.
Amazing. And why are you working on the sprints?
Mostly eating and drinking, but
that's the best job. Yes,
yeah,
that's the real reason. Like academics, like we go to conferences only for.
Yeah. So, but a bit on getting the tail calling interpreter to work on a certain proprietary compiler. I can't say what it is right now.
Illegal.
Yeah. And
Did you sign an NDA?
compiler.
Did you sign an NDA? A compiler NDA?
No NDA.
All right.
Yeah, just all respect.
All right. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Is this something that people will use, or only corporate drones?
Both hopefully.
Both.
Yeah.
Now, you, dear listeners, you will probably guess the proprietary compiler. It's not XLC, no. It's not IBM related at least.
Yeah, it's not COBOL.
Okay. Not COBOL compiler.
Yeah.
All right. So is this how you have spent the whole week, or are you working on something else apart from the tail call stuff?
So I spent a bit of time on the JIT stuff as well.
How did you feel about the JIT? You famously published a blog post about the uncertain future of the CPython JIT.
Yeah. So
very famous.
Yeah. That blog post blew up a bit. Let's see. What do I think about it? I think the blog post was to kind of scale down the hype a bit regarding the JIT, because people have unrealistic expectations of it.
Right.
But at the same time, it's also to acknowledge that the community work that we've been doing on the JIT. But yes, there's a lot of work left to be done, and a lot of room left to improve. So yeah.
When Kenjin giveth, Kenjin taketh. All right. So, what's your favorite pizza flavor from the week?
Definitely the lunch.
Lunch. Because tell us to our listener what was the incredible diet of the ARM
Yeah,
developers.
yeah. So I'm totally not paid by Diego or Arm to say this, but yeah, the pizza is okay, I guess.
Pizza is okay because it was pizza all day,
Yeah,
all
yeah, it's
time.
pizza all day, all
You
the
could select
time.
between pizza and then pizza and more
Yeah,
pizza.
you can select between either pizza or margarita pizza or like chicken pizza.
We
or
will
whatever
interview
pizza.
Diego later, but being Italian, maybe that's the reason. He's throwing our Italian thing. All right. Well, with this, thank you very much, Ken.
Yep, thank you
for
very
being with
much.
us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, sir. Do you want to present yourself to our listeners?
I'm Alex. I work on typing mostly. I maintain the typing module. I'm also a typeshed maintainer. Do other typing Python things.
Not a small thing, like the typing module is one of the hardest part of the interpreter. What a labyrinth. Is this your first core developer sprint?
It is my fourth, I think.
Your fourth core developer sprint?
Yep.
What a miss. That's on me, I suppose. Yeah, for some reason, man, like this is always complicated because the sprints are in the US normally when I'm super jet lagged, and then for me it's like some blur. So why are you working on this sprint?
This sprint, I've been doing a few small things, I guess. The main thing is collections.abc.bytestring and typing.bytestring had been removed in Python 3.14, but we got some feedback that they had been removed too soon.
Too soon.
Yes, so I added them back. It's a very bad ABC, don't use it. We will get rid of it eventually, but it's there for now if you need it.
This is the other way around. Well, Alex taketh, Alex giveth.
Yes.
Amazing. So what else are you working on?
I've been doing some documentation improvements, and I've been writing some Rust for my day job. Everybody, boo.
All right, because you work at
Astral. I work at Astral. Yes.
Very popular and exclusive company. Amazing. So how is that type checker going? Are you working on type checker?
Yes. Yeah.
It's just people are very excited. Do you want
Type-
to say something about that?
The type check is going well. Yes, we are hoping to have a beta release for you all soon. Sometime this autumn, hopefully. Yes, there's still a lot to do, but yeah, it's shaping up nicely. It should hopefully be fast. It should hopefully have good error messages. It should hopefully have more intuitive behavior in a lot of situations than some other type checkers. Yeah, we have high hopes.
Beef. all right. Amazing. Just so, dear Charlie, give this gentleman a raise. Extremely good work and very impactful. And the last question I have, like, what is your favorite typing feature for 3.14?
Favorite for 3.14? Oh gosh. Well, my least favorite is collections.
Yeah. That's what we want. Yes. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Favorite feature, definitely deferred evaluation of annotations.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Of course, that's a good one.
Yes.
The Rube Goldberg machine to hide the annotations, right?
Yeah.
That's very amazing. Like once and for all, no more from future import annotations. Really hard work, actually. All right. Well, with this, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have with me Russell Keith-Magee, another core developer, this one interested particularly with our mobile support. How has your week been?
It's been busy. I've spent a lot of time trying to land a PR that I've had in the works for a long time, been actively working on for a couple of weeks, hopefully closing out the last pieces that are needed to get official iOS binary releases as part of a normal Python release process. So because iOS is technically 3 separate platforms that then all need to be merged and combined together in weird ways, the process of actually producing a binary is a lot more complicated than it is for a Windows where you're building a Windows for x86 or a macOS for a given platform. And so coordinating all those pieces together has required a bit of massaging to make all the pieces fit together.
But those 3 platforms are not like iPhones, iPads, and Apple Watches. They're about something else. So what are the 3 things?
Correct. So the iOS differentiates that you have a simulator where you're running it for development purposes, and there's physical devices, and those are treated as 2 separate ABIs, 2 separate platforms that you have to build for. They're functionally identical, but the actual compiled products need to be separate. And then because on the simulator you could be running it on an ARM laptop or you could be running it on an x86 laptop, you then need to have a build for x86 and a build for ARM, and you've got to build them separately and then mash them together into what's called a FAT framework. And then all three of those need to be in one XC framework, which is then Apple's way of saying, well, here's a whole bunch of architectures that are all doing the same thing with the same public interface, and then Xcode then works out at compile time which little slice of the overall piece it needs.
So XC stands for Xcode or cross compilation?
Xcode in that context.
I see. All right. So, what do you hope the development of mobile platforms mobile platform support for CPython is going to focus on once you're done with this in 3.15? Where do we go from there?
So a lot of the work that I've been doing over the last year, like iOS and Android support both landed in 3.13 as notionally these platforms are supported. For the last year or so, most of the work that I and my co-worker Malcolm have been working on is how do we then make the rest of the Python ecosystem, not just CPython, but all the pillows and the NumPys and everything else.
And the CFFIs.
And the CFFIs, all of those pieces. How do you get them working on iOS? And that's a complicated question because it involves when you're building a wheel for macOS, you sit on a macOS machine, you build a wheel for the platform you're on. For iOS and Android and in Scripton, you are on one machine and then you have to cross-compile for another machine or compile for another architecture. And PEP 517 or the PEP 517 interface, which is the interface controlling the compilation of wheels, doesn't really cover that as a platform, as a concept. There's nothing. Doesn't sort of exclude it, but it doesn't actively acknowledge that it exists. And so, what I have been doing, or what Malcolm and I have been doing for the last year, is kind of getting the pieces in place to work out what actually do we need to do at all. And over the next year or so, I'm hoping we're going to, the pieces are in place with things like CI build wheel, but there is more formalization we can do to say, okay, we've got this working. Now here's a formal definition of what it is you actually have to do. And maybe there's some improvements we can make to PEP 517 to formalize what cross-compiling a Python wheel actually means. And that's something that iOS needs, it's something that Android needs, it's something that Scripton needs.
Right.
But at least in principle, it's actually something that affects any platform. When macOS released their M1 laptops, all of a sudden you had a whole bunch of people with x86 hardware who needed to produce M1 wheels.
Exactly.
When Windows started producing ARM64 laptops, you've got a whole bunch of people with x86 laptops that need to produce ARM-compatible binaries. And so this sort of cross-compilation is not a new concept. It's just one that Python has ever really had to engage with.
And most importantly, maybe just to make the maintainers of non-pure Python projects on PyPI be able to rather easily add iOS support, such that we have more and more libraries that we can choose from when creating iOS applications.
That is absolutely the hope. And in some regards, for the simple cases, it does kind of fall out that way already. If you've got CI build wheel and you've got a CI build wheel configuration for your wheel, CI build wheel -- platform iOS will make an attempt at spitting out an iOS wheel. And if it's a relatively simple, setup tools, one C module compiled and linked, it'll likely just work. It gets a lot more complicated when you start delving into, okay, my library also has a binary dependency on this C library that needs to be compiled and needs to be available for 3 platforms and then needs to be linked in the right way and so on and so on. So externalities make the whole process more complicated. That is itself a subject of a whole bunch of PEPs that are currently underway as well. How does Pillow specify that it has a dependency on libpng? Where does it get libpng from? How do you know that you've got an up-to-date version of libpng for the build that Pillow is building? And so on, and rinse and repeat for every other dependency that exists.
Answer being CMake. Everybody just should use CMake. It will make our lives way easier.
Sure. Okay. Let's go with that.
No, that's just my subjective opinion. And speaking of subjective opinions, 2 critical questions that we ask everyone is: which was your favorite pizza flavor this week? There were many to choose from, so choose wisely.
I honestly, I wasn't paying too much attention to what the pizza flavors actually were. They were all round with cheese and tomato and some other things. They were fine.
All right, I appreciate the answer. And the other question, which looks into the user future but our personal past, is what's your favorite feature of Python 3.14?
Ooh, 3.14. The fact that Android binary releases are actually part of the binary part of the release process, I say would go for that. That is all credit. That one, almost all credit goes to Malcolm. I was there and I watched and approved and whatnot. But Malcolm's really the person who's done all the work on that. It is gratifying to see the end of a very long process where now external parties do not need to be producing personalized builds. Like every release of Python is now going to include an Android release, rather than him having to manually maintain and update patches whenever he's got spare time to do everything else. It's part of you crank the handle, a release comes out, and Android is part of it. And that's what I'm trying to target for 3.15 with iOS.
There were some talks as well about the standalone builds of Python this week.
Yes.
So that single executables that can already be ran without installation on the target platform. Those are actually also used like during the iOS build phases, like in CI build wheel, right? Don't we use standalone builds?
The build standalone is not used for iOS. It is used for the Android build, I believe.
I see.
The iOS one is able to self-host because if you're you have to be on a macOS machine. The macOS machine, you can guarantee that there is a macOS version of Python that's available, and so we don't have to go to CI build wheel. It's harder for Android because you can be doing it on Windows, you could be doing it on Linux, you could be doing it on Mac, and so the guarantees are not as easy to maintain. In terms of the iOS and Android builds, for Android, CI build, the build standalone is a thing that's there. My interest in that is actually completely independent of CI build wheel. It's around Briefcase and Beware, the Beware project, and Briefcase's app packaging, because we do use Python build standalones or standalone builds as sort of the infrastructure to make an application that can be relocated. I would very much like to see the things that are currently being produced as binary artifacts by build standalone to be common artifacts that are just cranking the handle, a release happens, and here are all the ways that you could use Python. Here's all the artifacts that you need to use Python in meaningful ways, up to and including dropping it into an app for traditional app store, app distribution purposes on any platform.
Yeah, let's see if that actually becomes our future. It is being discussed, so quite possibly we'll see where that gets us. Thanks for being with us, Russell.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
All right.
All right. We have with us here Sam Gross. How are you doing, Sam?
Hi, I'm doing well, thanks. I'm glad to be here.
All right. Is this your first sprint?
This is not my first sprint, but it's my first time on your podcast.
We just learned recently that Sam listens to our podcast. Only one episode so far. We don't know if that's good or bad.
I think it's good.
All right.
This is the most listened to podcast by me.
Like with one episode.
It's tied.
What is this format? Yeah. Well, thank you. It's an honor to be your only attempt to listen to a podcast ever. But there are better podcasts than us. Probably you will enjoy. Well, anyway, so one of the ideas here is that you tell us like what are you planning, like what are you confabulating in this sprint?
So that's a good question. I'm just getting back into work now. I've been on vacation for a while, and so I'm starting to work on free threading stuff again. Mostly debugging, fixing bugs so that the 3.14 release, the free threading part of it is going to be awesome. I think the rest of it's going to be awesome no matter what.
All right. How is it looking? It's like, are you
it's
confident?
Looking good. Yeah, I think it's going to be the best free threading release so far.
Like, you start sounding like Apple. Like, this is a gorgeous release. All right. How many bugs do you think like you will need to fix between 3.14.0 and 3.14.1? Like, is this everyone? Do you foresee like everyone is going to be like coming to you with like tons of bugs that people find out?
I hope not. I don't know.
What is the worst bug that you have ever fixed in free thread? Like in Python, not in your original implementation.
The worst bug. The worst bug I feel like is the one that I haven't fixed yet, because I don't know how to fix it.
one bug that he doesn't know what to fix. This is serious shit.
Yeah, once I figure out how to install things on Windows, it's going to be really
It's
easy.
always Windows shit. Man. Like, Oh, is Windows related?
It's
It's a Windows
related,
bug?
yeah.
Oh, Jesus. What is this?
For a certain package, when you run the tests, the interpreter crashes, the hard crash, but that only happens on Windows so far.
Jesus, that doesn't look good.
It
I mean,
doesn't.
to be honest, like I was very impressed by the bug that I think Lucas reported. Like this ARM. We are, by the way, like as we said before, we are in the ARM offices, so this bug is very proper. The memory ordering thing on ARM. So this bug was basically like saw itself, if I recall correctly, as like you call method foo of some class, and then it suddenly calls method bar. Because like someone forgot to update a pointer.
Oh yeah, that was a good one. I really do like the bugs where you just call a random method. I think those are fun.
It keeps it spicing.
Yeah, we have CPython has an internal cache of all of recently looked up method names and the resulting methods. So if you mess up that cache, you get all sorts of fun results. I think this one was fun because it only happened on Mac OS on ARM64.
True.
And so we didn't see it on Linux on Intel or AMD or whatever, and we didn't see it on Intel Mac, and we didn't see it on Windows. I think Mac OS is the only ARM platform we tested regularly. So that was definitely a little bit suspicious. Yeah, this was a while ago, so I don't remember all the details.
It was a barrier or something.
Yeah, it was a missing barrier, I think. It was pretty satisfying to fix. I like it when they're like, you understand the problem and then you're confident that you fixed the problem, and that was one of those.
I mean, I was looking at I remember talking with Lucas about the bug, and we were like, what the fuck is going on? And like, this is going to be fine. And when I saw the PR for I in barriers, I was like, what the fuck? Like, so yes. Do you think like it's going to be a bunch of those like ugly things that, like they're going to be hard to find, or it's like mostly like just edge cases and Windows shit?
I hope there's not going to be a lot of those. The good and bad of it is that I think a lot of the memory ordering related bugs can be kind of lurking and just never happen in practice. Like just because either the timing between when the instructions start and when they finish is sufficiently long that you just don't see these potential problems.
Right.
Which might be good in the sense that if they never happen in production, are they really a problem? But it's bad in the sense that you never actually find the bugs. So hopefully we don't have too many of those. I think this one with the type cache stuff, we were doing more clever stuff than we do in most places, so it's a little more prone to it. I don't think we're going to have a lot of these. We have a lot of bugs. Like we write a lot of software, we write a lot of bugs.
It's good to have a good collection.
But
Always impressive.
I don't think this is a huge percentage of them. I think it's a very small percentage, or these sorts of weird memory ordering bugs.
So my last question, do you think you will get to fix the Windows bug before the end of the sprint?
Yes.
You want to bet?
Yes.
It's a Windows bug, man. Like think hard.
Yes.
Okay.
We have the good thing about doing this as a sprint is that there are some Windows experts here.
All right. One.
Did Dino leave? There's definitely Steve Dower.
Dino. I don't know. Will he consider himself as a Windows expert? Okay, so
I think we have at least two.
Lucas is nodding, so yes, two.
Two, yeah.
Yeah, but Dino is
so
busy
Steve
doing
and
secret
Dino.
Things. Okay. We will by the magic of addition, you will know immediately if this was true or not.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Sam.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Amazing. We have with us the one and only Steve Dower.
If you find a second one, let me know. You can.
You have been described so far in previous guests as the Windows expert.
I know it's lonely, and one of these days I'm gonna, Lukash will come and join me one day.
All right. But so we were actually discussing because if there is only one Windows expert or two Windows experts. So now we want the surprise question, and we want the real answer. Is Dino a Windows expert?
Oh, I don't know that I should be answering that.
You should absolutely answer, because we are going to answer as Dino at work. This is a prisoner's dilemma.
Dino is an expert at everything he touches,
Was.
frankly.
Okay.
So-
Very, very, very beautiful answer.
That's Dino was actually my mentor when I started at Microsoft.
No
So,
way.
Yeah, so he was the
then
senior
enough-
dev on the team that taught me everything I know, and so he is directly responsible for all the arguments that I make with people because he taught me how to do compatibility, taught me how
I
to
didn't knew that.
yeah.
Well, by definition, then he's even more expert than you are.
I absolutely, yeah.
Well, I mean, at least like since he left, no, he's now a meta about it. But
I mean, everyone makes a mistake.
very impressive. Well, so everyone wants to know what are you up to this sprint?
Well, this sprint, I am mostly taking my arguments from online and having them in person with people.
Always
I
more
have
healthy.
argued with Petr Viktorin, I've argued with Sam, I've argued with you, I've argued with the list goes on, and I keep having people come up to me and say, "Hey, Steve, when you get a chance, I'd like to discuss this with you." And it's somewhere in the midst of that, I've managed to help get the Python 3.14 RC3 released.
Right.
A new update for the Python install manager on Windows, and
Well, I have to say that it doesn't sound that lonely as you were painting it there. Like you look very popular, sir.
I guess yeah.
But
Yeah,
no-
I guess it's not that well. It's nice to be able to share the work with someone, and there are a couple of people who are getting more and more involved. I don't know that they're quite ready to put their name to it yet, but
Right. Well, the last question, controversial question. What is your least favorite feature of 3.14?
least favorite feature of 3.14.
Yes. We are all for the negativity.
Oh, 3.14 still has type hints, right?
yes, it has.
That.
Oh, you should put these two together for sure. Yeah. Well, amazing. Thank you very much, Steve.
Thank you.
We have with us the mentor of Steve Dower, as we recently learned, the person that taught Steve everything about Windows, Dino Viehland, currently at Meta, being lazy, at least attempting to be very lazy. So let's hear about that. What have you been up to this week?
I've been working on lazy imports and been working on some compiler stuff. Touched the parser for the first time. Exciting times. Walking away from touching the parser.
So your first encounter was not really that friendly then? Like what do you think about the parser?
Some parts were pretty friendly, like adding a new keyword wasn't too bad, although I had to consult with Pablo a little bit. A deep dive into memory management inside of the parser was unsuccessful, but that's fine. It was not going in a good direction.
I see. So the fact that like it sort of intersperses the grammar with bits and pieces of C code, like how did you feel about that?
That was pretty reasonable. I mean, that was no problem to update at all. I was just thrown off by like, I read one segment of C code. I'm like, oh, this doesn't have anything to do with what I'm doing. And I was wrong. But that's fine.
But then we
It's
also want to
pretty simple.
have nice error messages. So your grammar rules are only a subset of the rules you want because you need to describe all the ways in which people will type it wrong, just so that the error messages are nice.
Yeah, I'm going to leave that part to Pablo.
All
I just
right.
needed to get enough in there where I could do the actual, like, drive the rest of the feature, and I don't care about it.
So did you settle on what soft keyword that's going to be? Because I've heard very many examples of what lazy you might want to actually, like how you might want to spell that.
So I think we're going to spell it lazy, defer, promise, async, all as one word.
Perchance.
Perchance, maybe.
Wow. Yeah, like I am joking here so that our listeners know, because I was briefly just a part of this bike shedding on like what are the possible ways to spell out lazy imports, and I did not help. I absolutely did not help suggesting yet another or two or three ways to possibly spell lazy imports. So how do you reconcile this? Like, how do you actually end up choosing and putting something in the PEP as the official proposal?
I don't have strong feelings. Like if we went with deferred with 1 through 6 R's, that would be fine. The parser
Strawberry.
can support it. Strawberry, sure.
It's what AI doesn't know how many R's there are.
Exactly. like, but yeah, I don't have a strong preference. Like, if I were to stack rank them, I think I like lazy the most.
Based on the length
I
of the
actually
string?
forgot my stack ranking now, other than lazy. Like, defer is in there, and there's a third one too that I'm not remembering. But
Perhaps.
perhaps, maybe. I really like the Spanish question mark suggestion with the upside down question mark
yeah.
followed by the normal question mark at the end. Not the easiest thing to type on a US English keyboard, probably. But the important thing is the feature and the syntax. Like, we're just all going to become used to whatever it is at the end of the day.
So why are you working on this? Wasn't the PEP rejected? There was a lazy import PEP. In fact, like, were you involved in that at all at the time, or like how did that work?
I wasn't involved with the PEP. Herman, the author of it, worked at Meta, and I was on the same team with him. And this was his first foray into CPython, like a major CPython feature. So I helped him out with things. But Herman really drove everything end to end. The big problem with the existing implementation was that it modified the big problems. It modified the dictionary object, and it was just a global flag that you turned on and off. I think I'm involved today because of my involvement in the past, and because I want to make sure that things will continue to work well for meta scenarios and still be a good feature for the language.
So why is it a good feature for the language? Like, what does it enable that we cannot do now?
One of the biggest things is the startup of command line applications and other applications. They tend to load tons of dependencies. I know, like, I've certainly ran a command in -- help and waited to see the help show up when it really doesn't need any of those dependencies to print out the help. It's always super annoying. It also just, like, on larger apps that aren't using everything that's there, they may have a lot of dependencies and sub-dependencies, and, like, they're using part of a dependency but not all of it, and just not loading that stuff can be a big memory and CPU saving.
An effective runtime tree shaking. You're only importing what you're using.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Thank you. Apart from your particular involvement with the new, better, lazy import
New and improved.
PEP, improved, yes, vastly improved. What else has been happening that you enjoyed this week?
Pizza.
Pizza. We were getting there because everybody gets asked this crucial question. Which pizza flavor did you like the best this week?
The first one.
The first one.
Yeah. I think it was pepperoni.
I think so. Okay, cool. The other question that we're asking everybody, which confuses every single core dev, which is hilarious to see, is what's your favorite feature of Python 3.14?
Free threading.
Okay, it was easy answer to him.
Yeah.
Of course.
Would you prefer if I said colors in the REPL?
Possibly. But I also enjoy free threading like a lot, and not many people were so quick to answer. Very often the confusion comes from the fact that, like, oh, but the feature freeze was so long ago. Which thing is actually 3.15 and which is actually in 3.14?
I worked on free threading, and I mean, it's probably one of the most significant contributions I've ever made to CPython. So that is a pretty easy call for me.
Fair. And what do you think right now? Like, it becomes sort of officially supported, but it is on separate Python 3.14t, and so on and so on. What needs to happen right now for this to become successful?
At this point, it seems like it's, well, probably the real thing is community adoption, right? I mean, there's the binary compatibility thing, but that's getting worked on. But, there are tons and tons of packages written in C, and they probably don't need a ton of work to be free threading safe, but they need some work. So That's probably the most important thing. It'll probably take a while, but a lot of the major scientific packages, the work is happening there. So hopefully that'll encourage other people to go and update their own stuff.
I do hope to see that, since it's a feature I've been waiting for since I learned that Python exists.
Yeah.
That was a thing that you learned very early on. The GAL is making everything not really parallel. So finally we're there.
In the beginning, it didn't, we only had one core, right? Now, our phones have multiple cores. So its time has come.
And our phones are where you cannot fork. There is no fork on a phone, whereas threads will work, which is incredible.
I didn't realize that Android doesn't have fork.
Do we care about Android though? On the iOS world, it is pretty locked down, and threads are all you have. So I think this might be a collaboration that is maybe unexpected success story of free threading. If that gets embraced.
Yeah, I mean, getting rid of fork seems like a good idea. Fork's terrible.
It is. It is. It truly is. All right, it's been fun to have you. We should do a full episode to talk about lazy imports if hopefully it gets accepted.
Fingers crossed.
As soon as you agree on the soft keyword that you're gonna go with.
Spanish style question marks.
I see Pablo aggressively agreeing.
All right. So can you say to the mic who you are?
Hello, I'm Petr Viktorin, developer in residence.
Right. So how are you doing? What is exciting this week? What are you working on this week?
The exciting thing is all the conversations with other core devs, but I have submitted an update to a PEP already.
Whoa, what PEP is this one?
I don't remember the number.
Me neither, so don't worry.
Stable ABI for free threading.
Whoa, that's a big one actually. A lot of conversation around it.
Yes.
You think it's going to happen?
It needs to happen
Yes,
one way or another.
Your flavor, because we discussed there is 400 different flavors of this.
Yes. Well, yes, there's a matrix of possibilities, and some of mine will make it in, I'm sure.
Well, how you felt about the discussion? Because listeners don't know it, but one of our most exciting discussions, I will say, this week has been precisely about the stable ABI for free threading.
Oh, really? I would be interested in that discussion.
Well, it cannot happen, right? We were discussing, ABI 3 and the future. You were in the room, no?
Oh, yes. Well, there were discussions about it all the time. I don't know which one are you referring to?
The big one with everyone in the room, right? We keep discussing about, should we do ABI 3? Should we do 2 years, 3 years? Do you remember that one?
Oh, right, yeah.
So how do you think it went? What is your opinion on the discussion?
So for me personally, that one didn't really change much of what I think. I've heard a lot of these arguments before.
Did you change your opinion on the PEP at any point, or you still think the proposal that you're doing is the best one?
I still think my proposal is the best one. Otherwise, I wouldn't be making it.
Right. So Petr is also, apart from being a prolific core developer in residence, he's also in the newly formed, not super newly, but recently formed CPython working group. So can you explain to our listeners what the CPython working group is and how you work?
Well, it's mostly arguments.
More arguments, you just sign up for all the arguments.
It's supposed to be a diverse group with lots of different opinions. So those opinions clash on issues on GitHub, and sometimes we agree on an issue. Well, most of the times we
Has it ever happened that you agree on the issue?
Yes, most of the time we actually agree on the issue, but
on the issue, but not on the solution.
on the solution, okay. But the issue is somebody proposing an API. We tell them that the return value should be different. It should take pointers instead of whatever else.
Right.
Otherwise, it's fine. Or we tell them, no, don't add that. Put an unstable prefix on it, and
Right.
we'll try to get rid of it. Yeah, but those are the boring ones that nobody remembers, right?
Right. Well, everybody remembers the Haiti ones, like the ABA3 one.
Yes.
Yes. I'm excited to see that going through. Let's see. Because it's important for free threading, right? Like that's going to be a key cornerstone of getting it in the default in the future, right?
Yes, I think it's needed to
Right.
free threading the default, yes.
So now that we are close to the 3.14 release, what is your favorite feature of Python 3.14?
Oh, see, the problem with that is, like, the new feature for me is like in the past, right?
Right.
The
of
feature
course.
freeze was quite a while ago, and I didn't actually study the list. But there's more colors in the REPL.
Oh, Wuka's Langa won! You're the first one mentioning Wuka's work as the favorite one.
That's the first thing I see. I type import and it turns blue.
It's true. I mean, I will be fair to Wuka's here because he has not, he doesn't have the possibility to say anything, so we can. So yes, me too. Like now, I look at the old REPL and it feels old, and,
Yes.
and at the time it felt very new.
It also forced me to adjust my color scheme in the terminal.
Using the non-public, very secret way.
No,
to do
using
this.
the terminal
Oh,
settings.
right. Oh, of course. Oh, because you changed the terminal.
Yes.
Oh, do you know that Wuka had?
I'm not touching Lukash's code.
Okay. Yes, very responsible. Okay. Cool. Well, with that, thank you very much, Peter.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So now we have the one and only Peter B, not Peter V. As you see, it's very impressive. I know how to pronounce that. All right. So how is the sprint so far?
It's been good. A lot of presentations, but for the most part, I've been working on sub-interpreters with Eric. So there was some runtime finalization stuff we were working on, like if you had a dangling thread inside a sub-interpreter, that would crash. And so we went ahead and fixed that, and then there was another bug with, like, if you created like an add-exit callback from a thread during finalization or something like that, or like a pending call, then that would also, like, it wouldn't get called. So we fixed that by adding like a lock and running everything like in a loop until there were no threads or pending calls or anything like that left.
Right. Many listeners don't know this, but finalization is one of the hardest part of this thing. So much that you say an at exit callback, but that is ambiguous because there is at exit and at exit, and one of them doesn't wait for anyone. So very impressive that you're fixing this area. Very hairy stuff.
I've also been working on two PEPs. So PEP 788, which is like interpreter references. So it's like if you want to stop an interpreter from finalizing temporarily, you just acquire a reference to it, and then when you're done, you release it. So this fixes some thread safety issues with like pygil state ensure and whatnot. And so I was getting the CAPI working group to review it, and I've also had Eric look at it because he's with sub-interpreters and all that, so he's an expert there. And then I've also been talking with Matt P. About deep immutability, because I have a separate proposal for sub-interpreters where you have a proxy object that like allows you to share immutable data between interpreters. And so it uses like a fallback mechanism. So like it doesn't need a proxy like strings or Boolean objects or stuff like that. And so like with a deep immutable object could also like be used as a fallback, so we can skip creating a proxy.
Which one do you like the most?
What do you mean?
The PEPs. Like now you have two PEPs, so you need to choose.
788 is.
Oh.
The other one is like, it's not even published yet. It's just like a draft PR on the PEPs repo right now, and it's also like way more complicated and annoying to deal with.
Right. But our listeners got a very exclusive sneak peek into the PEP. Amazing. Only on Kernel PY. Well, a very impressive thing as well is that I think you are the youngest core member team, right?
Yes, I am. I think Benjamin Peterson was younger than me when he started, but like I'm the youngest.
Yeah, but he's old now.
Yeah, I'm the youngest current core team member. So.
Very impressive. Awesome. Any other thing that you're looking forward in 3.15 apart from these PEPs?
Your sampling profiler is great.
I didn't say that. He said that. Amazing. Yeah, that's very cool. And it supports our interpreters now.
Yes. I was thinking about playing with that, like trying to get some scaling benchmarks with it.
Right. Brandt is also working on it now. Spoilers, but we can confabulate all together. Well, with this, thank you very much for being here. Amazing.
I have with me Eric S. One of the two Eric S's at the sprint. This one is famously known for hoarding all the great features and implementing them, but also coming up with them, huh? So,
right. So my two claims to fame were F strings and data classes, and the not well used PEP 420 namespace packages, which I think their day may have passed, but they still exist.
right, but F-strings and data classes, at this point, I guess, Python programmers might just not be able to think of Python as Python without those features.
Right. Well, that's why I was in the dinner the other night. What's the best version of Python? 3.6, of course, was F strings, and 3.7 data classes, but mostly F strings, I think. I actually work for a big client who was for many years on 2.7, and I forced them to go to 3.6 just so I could start using data classes. But I think I forced them to go to 3.6 when 3.9 was out. So I was still behind the times.
So, but it was still already well tested as a version. So
That's
we knew
correct.
that 3.6 was good. So before we get to like all what's happening this week, I am very interested in your personal opinion about another kind of strings that was just introduced.
Mm-hmm.
We have now another letter before a string that we can use. What do you think about that?
T strings, I think they are super useful for a small set of problems. I think a lot of what I've seen is people overfitting, trying to use them where in places where I don't think they necessarily make a lot of sense. I think they definitely make sense in the SQL injection, even HTML sort of auto-escaping sorts of things. I'm less convinced they're going to take over the world for general purposes.
Like F-strings did.
Right. Well, they're a different thing. One thing I would have liked to have seen them do, I'm sure Larry mentioned this also, is support some sort of delayed evaluation ability in them. So I think they're generally useful. I like the design. I think they'll do what they're designed to do well.
But looking at what's new in 3.14 and Python 3.14 in general, what is the key feature for you? What is the I'm going to make my customers upgrade to 3.14 for that?
That's an excellent question. We have a few workloads where they could experiment around with free threading. Not a ton of them, but if I could get them to experiment with that, I think that would improve a number of their workloads. Not so much on the project I'm on, but for reasons that escape me, I'm the Python expert at this client's place, and everybody looks to me for all things. If it involves the word Python, I'm involved. So there are other workloads there that people are doing that could benefit from free threading. They're a huge AWS shop, this client. Like a 7-figure per month AWS bill.
Wow.
A lot of AWS stuff. So if they could reduce their spend on AWS, they'd be happy.
I'm pretty hopeful about free threading myself, but 3.14 is somewhat of like a done deal for us at this point, right? The feature freeze has been a long time ago.
Right, I think everyone's moved past it. I have to think back on what's in 3.14.
Yes.
Everybody else might be looking forward to it. For us, it's looking back on it.
So how have you spent your week? We were thinking about 3.15 now, so what's on your mind?
Right, I don't have anything terribly exciting I was going to work on, so mostly I've been looking at data classes issues. There was a super unfortunate change made in 3.13 where data class comparisons, dunder EQ was changed. It used to do, and this came up at the language summit
Yeah.
is the classic don't ever do this again problem. How can we avoid this specific problem? Which was we changed how comparisons work. It used to be data classes, when it generated the Dunder EQ, it would create two tuples with all of your fields and then the other class's fields, and then do an equal comparison on them. And Raymond changed it to be field at a time. So if self.a equals other.a and self.b equals other.b, and
Yeah. So
and that unfortunately had a side effect of changing how instances with nans in them compared. And so it broke that. There are a whole bunch of issues around that. It wasn't documented, so I've documented the change. A lot of people wanted to back it out, but 313's out the door, 314's all but out the door. At this point in the game, we can't change it.
So the motivation for the change was the short circuiting, so that you could just like bail out faster.
Right, two things. Right, it was the short circuiting and you don't have to build the tuples first. So if you had 30 fields, you had to build two 30 tuples. So that was the motivation. And I'm all for the change. I think I wish I had done that. I wish I'd originally spec'd it that way. But
so speaking of data classes performance, I've been poking you about
for
an
years.
idea. Yeah, which is not very well fleshed out, as you know, because the devil is in the details.
Correct.
But wouldn't it be awesome if we could compile data classes with the compiler and not during import time every time you start your program?
Right. Yeah, it would be a huge win for a lot of my code, which is really my frame of reference is my code. So it'd be a big win for a lot of people. And there's really two thoughts on how to do it. One is just teach the compiler about it. And I've joked before, I'm sure with you, that I often make the typo of instead of writing the word class, I just write data class foo. And so I think that would be the obvious way to do it. I think that'd be awesome. I think that would be a great thing that the compiler would do. But now, we've disadvantaged everyone else in the world. Adders can't use it, whatnot. So the other way to do it would be some sort of preprocessor, which sort of sucks the joy out of things.
Hygienic macros.
Hygienic macros is the other one, and as I've joked with you guys before, I believe that I'm all for them, but they'd have to be cryptographically signed, so only I could use them, because nobody else is trustworthy enough to be able to use them for evil. I alone would use them for good.
Yes, with some definition of good. Yes.
Right. Well, my definition of good. Yeah,
frame of reference dependent.
Correct. Right. So, it'd definitely be a big win for a lot of people to get that in, to get some compile time version of that in. So I've not given up. It's on my.
Neither did I. So maybe at some point we just
we
need
have
to
to
sit
collaborate
down
about it
and write the pep.
Right.
We'll see. So which pizza flavor out of all the pizza flavor this week?
Well, I know yesterday was a tough day for me.
Yeah.
Don't like mushrooms, and I'd like to point out that both pizzas yesterday had mushrooms on them. So that was tough for me.
No margarita yesterday. We've
That's
heard this
correct.
complaint already, actually. Yeah.
I think the margarita was my my go-to.
Okay, what else?
The only other thing I looked at this week was, and I'm talking to Larry about this. He may have changed my mind about it. When the single dispatch module was added,
I wonder.
One of my arguments for that was, well, you could rewrite pprint to use.
That was the original motivation.
Right,
we only never did that.
So I was going to do that. That was going to be my task this week. And then, of course, because it's long been a opinion of mine that I enforced that there's no base class for data classes, right?
Right.
That means you couldn't use single dispatch to add a pprint dispatcher for data classes. You'd have to hard bake in the knowledge of data classes.
You could, though. It is possible. You could make...
Does single dispatch have some...
Python's subclassing and...
Right, so I could lie about the...
You could lie about it being a subclass of a thing.
Right.
And then you could have
but I don't really want people to write any other than me. again, write any code that says, is this a data class? And if so, do something versus something else. So there is actually a function called isDataClass in the data classes module. But so I think that the better way to do it might be to add a protocol, a dunder pprint, because then I could inject that. In data classes, I could inject my own version of that, and then anybody else could.
Yeah, originally, when I got involved in single dispatch, the thing was that we already have dunder repr, so that pprint also already exists. And if you want to have the two, they shouldn't like walk over each other. Those two should be separate concerns, and having a third one was not preferred. So single dispatch was added, and in fact, there is a third-party 3D printer.
Is there? I went and looked for one. The only one I saw had been abandoned 7 years ago.
Oh,
but
it might have been.
Yeah,
I don't know actually. Yeah.
So.
Also,
but I didn't get
fun
very
project.
far. I didn't get very far with that.
I would still play with the dynamic subclassing, like is subclass thing. It's possible.
With single dispatch, then.
Well, with just Python, like you can lie and sing.
But would you create a single dispatch entry point, if you will, for that, and then lie about the? Yeah. Okay. Maybe I'll take a look.
All right. We should actually get you on a full episode, as we will next year, because like this has been fun.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
We have the privilege to be with the release manager of 3.14, and after some drama, recent drama. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. The release candidate number 3 just went out about 10 minutes ago.
Ooh,
yes.
First try.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yes.
Amazing. No revert.
No revert for that. No.
Yes. We have some mini drama. Do you want to talk about? Maybe not in detail, but like
well, there was an issue. Should we revert some typing thing? I just punted that over to the steering council and let you decide about that.
Punting, like people love this word now. Like everything is punting to the steering council. That means basically like he throw the problem to the steering council. And now it's your problem. And we discussed, but it was not reverted. I repeat, not reverted. Amazing. How do you feel about 3.14? Like, is it so close, huh?
Yeah, it's not long. It's only about 3 weeks till the final release. Yeah.
Is there still one extra release candidate, or was this the last one?
There were only meant to be 2, but we've done 3.
Ooh.
Magic numbers.
Magic numbers, indeed.
Yeah.
So now the first release,
yes.
The first final one.
First final, yeah.
And all the world will like publish all these articles about what's new in 3.14, copying from the documentation.
And
yes, so you have a typo, it will be replicated 6 trillion times.
Yes, well.
As a fellow release managers, I have seen that, and now I cannot remove it. All right, amazing. Do you have? You don't need to say what it is, but like, do you have already in your mind the final release note?
No, I haven't decided on that. You mean and now for something completely different?
Yes, like...
no, I've not decided. I had something in my mind, but I used it this time instead. And when you gave your keynote, actually in PyCon Greece, you showed a big, scary equation, which had pi in it. And I thought, I can use this for release notes. And then a few seconds later, you said, oh, if Hugo's here, well, I was there, you could use this for the release notes. So, yeah. So that's in there.
Oh, is this one?
Yeah, that's there now. Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much. That's amazing. Well, thank you a lot. Yeah. I'm very happy about that. Oh, now I need to fight against the being emotional. But I'm a professional. I will not let my feelings so. Well. So how do you think about 3.15? Like, do you think it's going to be easier or harder than 3.14?
It will be easier because I've already done one full release. I've learned the release process.
Oh, but the hard part is not the release. It's always the people.
Well, the people.
Squishy people, always hard.
It'll be more or less the same squishy people the next time around, won't it? It's actually been very good being at the sprint this week because I planned this release to be this week so that I could sit with Savannah, who will be the release manager for 3.16 and 17. So she just sat with me and she saw how the release process goes.
So you were showing to her how it works?
Yeah, and she's actually much relieved now because it doesn't look as bad as PEP 101 makes it look.
That's how we get them. When they have this feeling of security, then it's like we show them the real release process.
Yeah. So that was very good actually. But that was my main reason, but I actually realised that it's been very good for another reason doing the release this week, because I can just go up to somebody and say, can you fix your release blocker, or can you revert that other thing? Or something?
Right. So is this like what was the hardest blocker that you had to deal with in the whole release process?
It might have been this one just now, because the feature's been merged for like a long time, and it had been open for a long time as well, but it had not been really noticed by everyone until quite late,
right?
Like during the release process, release candidate phase. So, yeah.
Right. Well, thank you very much. Thank you guys, Hugo, for being here.
Thank you.
And very excited for the next one as well.
Thank you.
All right. Do you want to? Well, people know you already. You're very popular, as you learned recently.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot of pressure. Do you want me to introduce myself?
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Just in case, for whatever reason.
Yeah, well, my last name's different from the last one.
Exactly. Update.
Update. Yeah, so I'm Savannah Bailey or Ostrowski. I mean, I'm kind of in between last names. Either one is fine. Legally, still Ostrowski.
But how do you feel today?
Bailey-ish.
Bailey-ish.
Yeah. Bailey-esque, Bailey-ish. I don't know. What else? I got made release manager for the next version.
Big thing.
Yeah, since we talked, so that's very cool. We cut a release today. I
heard that you saw some release going on.
I'm less scared.
What do you think? Tell our listeners your experience from what you saw.
What was my experience? My experience was a lot of it is automated now, but I don't know any different. So, but apparently Pablo, you did a lot of that work, so that's very cool. I think it's like pretty hard to shoot yourself in the foot, which is also good.
Lot of foods were sacrificed.
Yeah, like you have no feet now,
yes,
but
yes.
Everyone else gets to keep theirs, I guess. But yeah.
Are you excited? Are you nervous? Like you want to
I'm
start
less
releasing?
less nervous now. I think.
When are you releasing Alpha 1?
Like next, I don't even know. Hugo and I were talking about the release schedule. I haven't even know yet.
It's soonish, no? Yeah, I think so.
Soonish.
Soonish, very-ish.
I like how you're telling me. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, it's soon.
I was like, do I have to make the PEP? He's like, whenever you want. And I'm like, okay. So I'm still getting set up.
Right. Is this your first accepted PEP? Well, it's the informational technical, no? The release PEPs are informational? Yes, okay. We're still waiting for another round of PEPs. Because you made a PEP.
I made
before.
a PEP, and then you deferred my PEP.
Not rejected, but deferred.
Yeah, it's fine.
Evil Esteem Council, always getting
man.
Those guys.
Yeah, just let us run wild.
Yes.
Yeah, that one's deferred. The JIT stencil hosting PEP is deferred. I'm going to write another PEP with Emma and Itamar about trying to reimagine our dependency structure and like maybe unifying some things and not having CPython bin deps be so crazy because LLVM is now in there and I can't update any versions because the binary is too big because it's like a gig.
Right.
So yeah, that'll be like a other can of worms, just digging, you know.
It's not on the repo, right? Like just people thinking like we have LLVM.
No, separate repo for build stuff. Trying to make release management easier, and so I've been trying to
making your life easier.
Well, and also trying to keep Steve happy.
Okay.
So
yeah, Steve unhappy can be dangerous. Right.
So that'll be a really simple and straightforward.
Wow, a lot of things you're doing. Like you're coming like stomping. Like what is the expression? Like stomping around, like strong start. Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah, they can't see that I just did that, but I did a stomping.
Yeah, see a stomping thing. Very, very impressive.
Yeah.
So okay. But like before we talk about like your super productive week, like what is your favorite feature of 3.14?
Free threading.
Free threading.
Yeah, I'm super excited about it. I think. I think anything.
You don't like the Langa special?
What's the longest special?
The colors on the repo.
Oh, I mean, okay, shout out to the colors. I hope so every 5-minute segment has someone saying, I loved the colors at the beginning. Is that like the bit?
No. So far, actually, has been very unpopular.
I don't think it's like, it's like choosing a favorite child.
That's it. I mean, we have normally, so far, people, like in other people's features, Some people have like their own features, totally legit.
No, legit.
Legit. Yeah.
No, I mean, I think anything to make Python faster. I would love to like not Python in the people in the Python community, but when I tell like other programming language friends that work on Python, they're like, Python's slow. Yeah. So I would like to that. I think that's good. I
Here's
think
a 1 GB binary that will fix it.
but I think also like I'm interested in the whole like how all these pieces come together, like the JIT eventually, hopefully, and then like free threading. So.
But you Wink has a Wink features that you Wink added to 3.14 that you may want to Wink mention.
Did I add features to 3.4?
Maybe something autocomplete-ish, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, of course, that thing, of course.
I know, but it was so long ago now. You know?
Yes, but guess what? It's being released now.
I know.
This is the future for a lot of people.
To suggest on air?
Yeah.
Yeah,
3.14 for you is like all news, it's all shit, but like...
Yeah, I know.
future.
I'm jaded, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. Suggest on error. So now in argument parser, when you mistype an argument, it'll tell you, did you mean X? Which I think is pretty cool.
It's very cool.
Yeah. So that's.
And now you are the maintainer of the argparse module.
Am I ever?
You are.
Yeah.
Say it.
I am
the maintainer.
I am the maintainer of the argparse module.
Correct.
Yeah.
You are.
But the issue now is like. There was a lot of low-hanging fruit like a year ago, like a lot of like no one was really working on it, and now like most of the issues are really complicated and would require like rewriting like the module probably, or like changing something in a way that could break like a lot of people, which kind of sucks.
But there is color now.
Yeah. Oh, there's color now too. Yeah.
By default.
Just bring argparse to the future.
I wonder who did that.
Yeah.
You did.
No, I didn't. I mean, I accept it.
It was you,
It was
no?
you.
No.
You opened the PR.
Some anonymous donor opened a PR adding the default value against the powers that be, but like that I didn't add the color option originally.
No, I didn't add it.
Oh, so who did? It was Hugo.
Hugo added.
Mr. Glanga.
It was Hugo.
But you review it.
Then we talked about it.
Okay. These kids are ruining these days, all with their colors and emojis.
Yeah.
I just figured out, by the way, that I added an emoji without thinking about it in an error message.
What?
Yes, I did. So I was adding a permission error, custom error message to the profiler, because if you run it in macOS, macOS is stupid and requires sudo.
We talked about this week.
And then I was not thinking, because when I do my profiling things outside, I do whatever the fuck I want, and then I say, okay, I'm going to add an emoji. And like someone approve it, and like I think it's the first error message in the interpreter with an emoji. It's the lock emoji, because like permission error.
Are we gonna like we're gonna commit to that? Is that gonna be like?
No, that's it. It's in.
Yeah, no, I know, but is that part of like?
Someone will complain.
No, I think you should ratify it. You should make it part of like a style guide and say like, this is how we do it.
Emojis are okay.
Yeah.
No, that's unwinnable.
It's not a hill you want to die on.
Unless some certain maintainer of certain module decides to add emojis by default.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Very interesting. All right. The last question. What is your favorite flavor of pizza? Because from all the very variety of like food available at the ARM offices.
Like of the pizzas I've eaten this week.
Yes. You could choose between all different sort of pizza.
Yeah, so the one we had today actually is kind of the one we had today was actually very so there's this pizza in Canada which they call a Canadian pizza, which is bacon, mushrooms, and pepperoni. Okay. And today we had one that was like kind of similar, so I think that's probably my favorite.
Do you accept it?
I did, but I really like salty food, like really salty food, and I feel like the cured meat really.
Does it make you a salty person?
Yeah, I'm a salty girl. My goal in life
The
is...
maintainer of the art person value. Ladies and gentlemen.
No, I always feel so accomplished when I like, I do this to you and then you lose it.
Yeah.
I feel very accomplished.
To be honest, I mean, Lucas here can corroborate, but like, I normally maintain the composure quite a lot, but like, for some reason I lose it.
I know, I just feel really, I feel like I mission accomplished.
You should be proud. All right, thank you, Russell.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, we told you that there is an Eric S on the team and that there is an Eric S on the team. So now we have the other one. It's sort of unfair to call him the other one. However, the previous Eric S said he's the one with Eric at python.org versus our current guest is what? eSnow at python.org? Like what is your thing out
I don't even remember. I haven't used that in a while. It's probably like eric.snow or something. Yeah.
All right. So how has your week been here in Cambridge?
It's been interesting. There's been a lot of really great discussion. These sprints are fantastic. And I haven't missed any of them. And every one of them has been super productive. This one's been a little different than past ones. We probably had more like presentations and interruptions in that regard. So it was just different. I wouldn't say it's worse. I don't know that we'll kind of do that format again. But, you know, it's been good. Lots of great discussions, lots of things to think about. So, yeah, I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, we are looking forward already to like Python 3.15. You know, the feature freeze of 3.14 was a long time ago.
3.26? Is that?
Yes, it should have been 3.26 that we're working on right now. But yeah, like a few weeks from now, we're gonna have 3.14. Have you thought about like what your favorite and least favorite feature of those versions?
I mean, I'm partial to the standard library module that I got into 3.14. So that was kind of an exciting thing for me. I mean, kind of the culmination of the project I've been working on for 10 years. That was fantastic.
So for people that don't know where that library lives right now, what is it called?
It's concurrent.interpreters. It's basically really simple interface that you can use to create and run code in sub-interpreters in CPython.
But that wasn't your first choice in like how you would name that library.
No, to me it's not really about concurrency.
I see.
The steering council had some thoughts about it. They felt pretty strongly that that's the right place for it. So, you know, I'll leave it to them. You know, I do trust the steering council to make good decisions about this stuff, whether or not I agree. And at the end of the day, I really believe that we all care about Python super deeply.
Right. But the functionality is there. So what can I do with it? Like, how can I use this library?
I guess the simplest way, if you go to concurrent.futures, you can have an interpreter pool executor now as of 3.14. And you can use that the same way that you use concurrent.futures with processes or threads. Virtually works the same way. There's some caveats. So when you talk about interpreters, they're isolated from one another. They don't share any objects pretty much. And so because of that, you can't write code the same way that you would with threads. Even though you're going to run sub-interpreters in threads, they're just a different execution environment.
Yeah, you have built-in isolation.
Yep. It's kind of like more like processes, but quite a bit more efficient.
Oh, so where does the efficiency come from?
So they're sharing process memory in process. So you have the efficiency of that shared memory. A number of things are faster because you have the one process. With multiprocessing, you have the overhead of starting processes. Unless you're using fork, but you probably shouldn't use fork.
Yeah.
So there's that. There are a few other things. We'll see. I don't know. It's also with multiple processes. This is something that you pointed out to me. With multiple processes, each process is assigned a number of resources by the OS, and you
Yes.
have a limited number of some of those resources where you don't run into those limits with multiple interpreters because there's only one process, right? So there's, I don't know, there are a number of advantages over processes. And I expect that as people use interpreters, they'll find some really interesting ways that they can be used that just simply wouldn't work with multiple processes.
But for like mutable data, it's sort of natural to have to do the dance of, you know, serializing on one end and deserializing on the other end. But what about data structures where we know that they're immutable, that they're not going to change?
Yeah.
Like, can that be shared in a more efficient way?
Yeah, absolutely. So like a lot of the built-in types, the singletons and like empty tuple, and there's a variety of objects that are all shared directly rather than needing any kind of serialization to send them between interpreters. And then on top of that, we have the opportunity to, if we have to serialize and deserialize, we can do it in a super efficient manner.
Yeah.
And then furthermore, I mean, you can use the buffer protocol. Anything that implements the buffer protocol, you can actually share the underlying buffer between interpreters, so like NumPy arrays.
Wow.
So then you can have the same one, and you just have to manage your own thread safety so you don't end up reading and writing the same chunks of memory at the same time. Because there's no thread safety between interpreters.
So to use it, now I have concurrent dot interpreters, and there is no special flag I need to use in the interpreter. There is no special version of the interpreter. The default one has support for this.
Yeah. In fact, the feature itself has been around since, I don't know, it's 20, 25 years, right? People didn't really use it a whole lot, so it didn't get exercised very well. So it had a number of bugs, and it didn't have any way to use it from Python code. But there are projects that have been using it for 8, 10 years or more. Mod Whiskey's been using it for like 20.
Yes.
So that's been around. The difference is starting a decade ago, I started the effort to make things better, to isolate the interpreters better because they're still sharing some data that caused problems.
Right.
Fixing bugs that were sticking around, and ultimately, by 2012, I was able to make the GIL per interpreter, which meant every interpreter was completely isolated from one another. And with that, you could take advantage of multiple cores using multiple interpreters. That was 2012, and it was still C API only. And so the rest of the time has been ironing out little corner cases there, but also working on the standard library modules so people could write Python code that used this. And that happened in 2014.
And now they can.
And those two pieces were the fundamental, like, really the base for everything that can come after. It's set the stage for, I think, a lot of really interesting things that people can do. And it encourages a concurrency model that fits the human brain.
Yeah.
And so you don't have to think about all the things that you think about with threading. So that's really nice, but that's even independent of the whole matter of multiple cores. But this also enables you, if you use multiple interpreters, you can use multiple cores. You don't have to wait for a free threading build of Python. And in fact, this capability is available in 3.12, and so extension modules can make use of this. So it's a really neat thing. I'm excited to see what people do with it.
So they are working on separate threads within one process, and those threads have separate GILs. So like the parallelism is there.
Yeah.
But that's like old news, right? That's Python 3.14. Like, we haven't thought about this stuff like since May. Now it's time for 3.15, and we've been working some on like the future of Python next October. So is there anything on your mind, like anything that you were working on this week, like for that version of Python?
Absolutely. So I'll probably be writing a PEP in the next couple months about a mechanism for sharing data between interpreters. So essentially a C-level protocol, but also like a dunder method on Python objects that you can do that'll make it easy to pass data between interpreters. And it'll probably mostly involve a serialization to some extent.
Right.
That can be done really efficiently. Fall back to pickle, which is what the interpreter pool executor does right now, falls back to pickle. Right now, all of this is internal API, has been for a number of years. And so it's mostly a matter of making this public API. So that's what I'll be proposing. And then Dunder method to kind of support this.
So the goal being that the interpreter pool will still work as it is today, but it'll become more efficient.
Yeah. Yeah, sharing data will be more efficient.
Okay. But the most important question of the week that we ask everybody, which of all the pizza flavors this week was your favorite?
That's a tough one. You know, they all blend together after a while, so it's hard to say. I don't know. I always just pick the one that had meat on it, but
yeah. Yes, we are hearing
was
the
there a chicken one?
Yeah, apparently yes.
Was there?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh well, after a week.
All right, we should do an entire episode on sub-interpreters then. Now that there is a Python API for it, this is very relevant to the interest of our users.
One other thing I'll be working on, hopefully in the next month or two, is to finish up the work I've done on a concurrency how-to.
Yeah.
Talking about how to do different things with concurrency and what sort of problems you can solve with concurrency in Python, including threads, async I/O,
right?
You know, side-by-side examples of how to implement it with these different concurrency models.
Yeah.
So that people can get a sense of which one fits what I need and how to do it. I got a lot of the work done. I hope that's really useful, but it ties into a lot of the experience I've had over the last few years of thinking about this stuff.
Absolutely, yes. So then we can discuss it.
Yeah.
In a little more time than now.
That'd be great.
So you've been with the Faster Python team at Microsoft for quite a while, but there's been some rearrangements there. So what's next for you?
So I was able, talk to a lot of people and found a great spot at Anaconda. Be working on a lot of the needs that Python's enterprise users have. So lots of great opportunities there, I think.
We've had quite a few people involved in Anaconda projects or directly working for Anaconda here this week.
Yeah.
And essentially everybody was from a different team, right? We had a PyScript person, we had a Beware person. Like you're going to be working on yet a different part of Anaconda.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, like an organization that attacked very many problems.
Yeah.
Python in browser, Python on mobile, Python for Excel, and so on and so on.
Yeah.
Okay, good. That sounds exciting. Do you think that like the involvement that you're gonna have in Anaconda will in any way use sub-interpreters? That like this particular feature like is gonna be important for them?
Definitely.
Nice.
I think there's a lot of room there for people to use sub-interpreters in enterprise setting.
All right. So let's check back when the concurrency how-to is out and talk about what the best concurrency model for Python is for the future. That
sounds great.
Yeah, let's fight it out then.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Thanks for
joining us.
All right. We heard, sir. This is Brandt Bucher, also known as Justin. For everybody knows as Justin. We did it, man. Like we were talking with Brett, and Brett's like, Justin. What is Justin?
Trendsetters.
All right. So apparently you have a cult now. Like we heard that the JIT presentation was now you have a lot of following, sir.
Yeah, it was great. I set aside about an hour and a half on one day to walk people through how the JIT works, and 2 days later I actually finished. It took like 3 or 4 hours, but it was great because people were asking really, really good questions, and it seemed like some of the people were interested in helping out, and some people have already started helping out.
All right.
So like thread safety for the JIT. A lot of people were sitting in on our planning meeting for kind of the next 2 releases as well. And so it's really cool because, I don't know, I can write code any time of year, but one thing I love about the sprint is the ability to like sit down at a conference table with like 20 people and talk about how the JIT works, or get in front of a whiteboard and say what we want for 3.15, what we want for 3.16, and actually sit down elbow to elbow with people and work on things if they're new to it or just stuck.
Makes sense. Will you think, given the like how complex this topic is and how long these meetings were, that this qualifies as a masterclass from Brandt Bucher.
It's probably whatever the opposite of a masterclass was, like.
Yeah, symposium. It's
Just
a
in
symposium.
class.
All right. So one thing that we notice now is that now that officially you have the JIT is gaining traction. There's all these people now, as you mentioned. It's awesome to see. Like it was full, man. It was amazing. But now you have all this pressure, man, because like if we still have 0% faster and with all this following, it looks more like a cult than anything. So what are your feelings? Do you think like 315 will see something cool?
Yeah, so we were spending quite a bit of time talking about this, like what we want to see in 315, what we want to see in 316. Very basically, we're looking to kind of have this on by default in 316 is currently our goal. So probably still off by default in 315. If you don't already know, when you download Python 314, you can set an environment variable Python_JIT equals 1, and you have the JIT. So our goal is to go from that off by default state to the on by default state. And so there are some just kind of technical challenges that need to happen for that. So better debugging and profiling support, which we're looking good in that department. LLVM upgrade should help us out with that.
Very impressive. I have to say that I'm very impressed.
Well,
I'm very impressed.
Thank
because,
you.
I've been extremely annoying as always, probably even more. For good cause, I would say. It's for a good cause. But I was chatting with Justin yesterday, and apparently, I don't know if you know about this, but one of the problems that we've been talking about is this idea that it will be good if native unwinders can go through the JIT, so you know what C code, the legal language, is doing across the JIT. And that has been, as Brandt can ratify here, a really challenging challenge. Apparently, I learned the other day from Savannah that the latest LLVM will be able to do something, now Brandt will explain the something, that fixes this, right? And I was like, amazing, these LLVM people are amazing. Guess what? It was not the LLVM people, it was him all along. He contributed this to LLVM with a sword and a shield, right? Like he modified.
So I'm not a fake compiler engineer. I'm a real compiler engineer.
Now you did it. You slayed the dragon without the dragon book. So tell us about this contribution.
The reason that out of process and native profilers can't unwind through the JIT is because we clobber frame pointers. There are other ways to unwind, but most of the unwinders, if you have frame pointers, they'll use them. And so part of the problem was that LLVM does have support for leaving the frame pointer alone, which basically means that we can set it once when entering the JIT code and then unset it when leaving the JIT code. LLVM does support basically for all of the code in between to leave that frame pointer alone. Unfortunately, that support was broken. All we had to do was basically... You make it sound like some impressive change, but it's literally like a two-line change plus test. It's a two-line change plus test that basically says if we're reserving the frame pointer, then don't use the frame pointer.
Dear listener, have you modified LLVM? No, right? I have not modified LLVM. Gook's Lang has not modified LLVM. There is only one person in this table that has done it, right? So it's still impressive, right? Especially because it sounds like some education, like he's given a problem and he destroys the problem. Hire him today. Well, apparently you cannot. The time has passed. Maybe you want to mention this later, but this is amazing. This is such an amazing thing. Very, very impressive. So something that we want to know from everyone is what are you working on these sprints? You are extremely productive, so we would love to have you in another episode. But just choose your most favorite contribution that is not the symposium.
Well, like I said, I can work on the JIT anytime. I really liked taking the opportunity to get in rooms with people and show them stuff that they want to learn more about or plan things that we need to plan, or have the opportunity to work on things that I'm not really familiar with. So I've been really excited with the new sampling profile
good shit.
that Pablo has been talking too much about on this podcast.
Yes, you're too much. What? Shots fired.
And I came up to Pablo the
whole episode,
first or the second day. More than one episode, yeah.
Really? No, it wasn't really one episode.
You're tooting your own horn with PR of the week or what's going on in CPython.
Well, right, but if I only were doing that, what do you want me to say? No, I didn't want anything that, no, man, Give me some slack, man.
Yeah, okay. It's your show.
Do you want to dedicate an entire episode to the JIT? We already did that.
We already did.
Okay, so we're
even.
But it's my podcast.
Yeah.
Our podcast.
Łukasz, say something if you agree. Oh, wait, no. Oh,
I agree.
He didn't have a mic. That's cheating.
Yeah. Well, he's a tech person.
But so on the first or the second day, I reached out to Pablo and I said, hey, wouldn't it be cool if in the profiler that you have, we could...
That we have.
Yeah, that we have.
No, you said you have. But
What did I say? That I have? That we have.
Well, it doesn't matter. We'll
Run the tape.
We'll see it later. We'll see it later.
Instant replay.
Okay.
Yeah, if in the profiles you could show where the GC was active, so you could see where your GC collections were happening and how much time you were spending in GC collections. And then Pablo was like, "Yeah, that'd be super cool."
I lost my fucking mind. Like this is
and then additionally, he said, "Wait, what if we showed every time that you were in any sort of native code?"
Wait. One second. This came in two stages, because first he had a very good idea, which is this idea of showing the GC. And then he said, well, we can do this cowboy thing or showing like at the bottom of the thing a GC kind of frame. So, and I was excited because it's like, this is very useful, because the GC matters a lot, and even more now in free threading, right? But it's kind of weird, right? Because like maybe you're in the GC and then you call some Python code and the GC appears after. So you don't know that where the GC starts and where the GC ends. It's kind of like, there is the GC involved, right? And I was like excited, but then you had a much better idea, which is like he found a way to actually put the
No, you were the one who suggested this.
No, I think it was you. Well, it was us.
No.
Well, anyway, like, but he did it. You were working yesterday on this, like, very impressive. And like, he just literally 5 minutes ago, he just showed me this insanity like profile. It's amazing, man. Like you can see. Well, sorry.
Yeah. So you can see where you entered the GC. Like the GC will show up in your stack. So if you're looking at a flame graph, you'll see all of the code that you were executing. Then where you entered the GC, and then if you run any like dunder-del methods or weak ref callbacks or finalizers, those will be further in the flame graph, and you can see how much time you're spending on those as well. And then additionally, since I was already kind of digging around and I'd gotten sort of familiar with the crazy new profiler, I also added something that Pablo suggested, which is showing where there's native code in between Python frames. So Python to Python calls just show up normally, but while we don't show the actual like C frames that are in between, we basically just have a block that says, oh, there's a bunch of native code here. Right. If I call through NumPy or something and then back into the Python interpreter, or a GC collection starts or whatever.
This is going to be one of the most transformative contributions to this profiler, because right now you are running like a function that calls a lot of NumPy code, and then it shows in the profiler, like right now it's like function. But with this, you can know how much of that is native code, so how much is NumPy or TensorFlow or whatever it is, right? So still, we are talking. We have plans for something else, but now it will show you how much of this, and you know how much is Python code that you can tweak and how much is C code that you may not tweak, right? And this is without having to unwind the C stack, which is really expensive. So this is amazing, and he did this in less than a day. Right? He learned all this crazy new thing, and like while doing the symposium, because the symposium was today, right? Like very impressive.
I'm just really excited for the GC stuff, because being able to see both like in like the profile over time, being able to see where your collections are happening and how long they're happening and all of that.
Like I think this is the time to also say like we should make a single sample mode as well, so you can also like if your process is frozen because it deadlocks on the GC, now you can take a sample because this works remotely, and now you can know that it's in the GC in a finalizer, and it crashed there or whatever it is, right? So this is amazing, man. Like this is very cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited for
right,
it. It was fun.
I would really love to talk to it, but like we have a question that we are asking everyone, and you will be either breaking Luka's heart like live, or
breaking your life.
Yes, you will no heart, your heart.
Okay.
His heart, life, like right now. Like everybody will know if you're breaking his heart.
Oh, live. Okay,
live.
They said I'm breaking his life.
Yeah, it was a weirdly phrased thing, but I'm a Spaniard. What do you want? Anyway, okay. What is your favorite feature of Python 3.14?
My favorite feature of Python 3.14, I would have to say the experimental JIT that anyone who downloads it can use off by default. Use Python _ JIT equals 1.
You don't have an X mode? -X
No.
JIT? So I do have an X JIT, but you don't.
Yeah.
All right.
Pablo named his thing a JIT.
I just followed
Perf JIT doesn't mean performant JIT.
No,
it means not performant JIT.
Well, it means the JIT of perf, which actually makes it slightly slower. But like,
my JIT used to make Python slightly slower as well.
Exactly. I think mine is worse now. But like, is the name of the thing in perf? It's called perf JIT interface. So I implemented the perf.
So someone else named something poorly, and you thought, okay, I'll just do that. It's easy. It's just easy.
So what the fuck? Man, I'm tired. I cannot counter this. But to be honest, I was double bad because it's not only a horrible name as Justin is mentioning, but also it turns out that now, as we mentioned, so I'm not going to go into it. The sample people now are also implementing the interface. So now it's not anymore perf JIT. It's profile JIT. Which is a horrible name for many reasons.
I'm also not sure why you call it JIT because
it's called JIT. It's called the perf
but the perf
JIT
support is also a JIT, and then the perf JIT support is also a JIT. So what's jittier about this one than the normal perf support? It's not more JIT.
It's the perf JIT interface is implemented via a JIT, and yes, which is different from the JIT or legit, not different JIT.
So if you're trying to enable the new experimental JIT, don't do Python perf JIT environment variable.
Now it
do
fails.
the Python JIT environment.
Well,
you renamed it?
No. Oh. Right now you get an exception. It says no. And then, because before it was to use like a fucking like random result. It's like, which one is activated? Because if you're trying to unwind, you don't get across any of the two. So it's like, well, now you get across mine because it's just like super simple. But and I saved the frame pointer by hand. But like the it used to be like you don't know which one is activated. So now I think mine takes precedence, and because you could say, okay, I will explain. So it just fails. It doesn't allow you to run anything. But I could have made, because it wasn't my PR, you could have made the error message either no, deactivate perf JIT to have the JIT, because that's probably what you want, or you can have made the error message no, deactivate the JIT to have the perf integration, and that's the one I will for. So like, the error message recommends to deactivate legit. Sorry about that. Well, anyway, right. So the JIT is your favorite feature.
Yes, of course.
So Gukas lost again. Nobody's choosing your colors. Well, 2 people out of like a lot. So
the colors are really nice. I was doing a demo during the JIT talk today, and I pulled up my Python shell, and there were no colors, and I knew something was wrong.
People are using it to the back, like that's the.
I was like, "There's something wrong here. It's broken."
I mean, to be fair, it feels all like when you see without the colors.
I was having.
Cool. I love it. I love it. Yeah, it's true. Are you using the color stuff? Of course you are. Also, how can you not choose his feature when it's implemented? It's probably the higher production deployment of pattern matching on the planet. Like, you don't understand. After this feature, like, pattern matching is running on everyone's. Like you don't understand. He is an evangelizer of pattern matching.
Well, maybe now we'll find some bugs.
He actually it's recursive stuff. Like, now we are the 3 of us here. Gukas Laga, like, valiantly, like fought the pattern matching, like, parsing with pattern matching. Talk about it.
I think that's incredible.
On the
when
planet.
I heard about that,
Yeah. Isn't this cool? And also, it's like extremely readable. It's like the original code was disgusting shit. And then Gukas had this idea, and very good, excellent. And now people are actually contributing to it. You forgot something.
So now I can JIT your pattern matching to parse pattern matching.
Yes.
So that people can
recursive Brandt
write some code that gets JITted.
You know, one interesting aspect we can try to do, like, when you run the interpreter, whose core developer code do you run first? Right, because like okay, obviously the parser wins, but like
so you can do that. Like so not in the C code, but in the Python code, we could have a sys.monitoring hook that does line events and then does the git blame for those line events.
Against the git blame.
Yeah.
We can order core developers by order of execution. So yes. Think about it. So
we can have a profile. How much time are you spending in Pablo?
We need to do this. We need to do this. We need to absolutely do this. This is fucking genius. But isn't this cool? Like, just run like the test suite of the CPython or some shit. And like, how many? The tests don't count. Like,
and we can see who calls into who. Like,
yes, exactly.
I usually call Mark's code or
exactly.
whatever.
Whose code depends on who. Because like this could clarify a lot of stuff. Let's do it. And with this, thank you, Brandt.
Thank you.
Well, sir. Welcome to CordoPy. Can you say your name so everybody...
Hello, I'm Antonio Cuni.
And you are the core developer of?
A lot of things. PyPy, HPy, and now Spy.
There is a pattern here. I can see a pattern.
I need to arrive to ZPy and then...
Yes, exactly. All the letters. Like, alphabet.
And then we'll do Ruby.
Well, those are quite important things. But like, before we dive into... Sorry, I just processed the Ruby one. So before we dive into this, you are also from Italy, right?
Yes.
So as Diego is. So we have a burning question. What do you think about pizza all day?
I actually like it, but it's a bit too much even for me.
Okay, so we have been... Okay. We have been told that you didn't approve the pizza, no? Today. You didn't like today's pizza.
I wanted a margherita and was not available.
Oh, okay. This is false news then. This was false news then, because like we were told like, oh no, Antonio didn't approve the pizza.
Yeah, I wanted the one with pineapple, but it was not available.
You have hear it for the first time. The Italians are losing their minds. All right. Well, let's go into business. So this week you have been working on a lot of things. So tell us a bit like how the week was. Like, what are you working on?
I didn't write any single line of code.
Really?
Yes.
Amazing.
No, actually, so the two things why I wanted to come are CPython, which we were like discussing just now, like with after my experience with HPy, now it seems that we are moving towards proposing this Python native interface, which has a lot of concepts inspired by HPy, and I want to discuss it more. And the other part is that I want to share my experience with the PyPy JIT, because, well, in case... do you know the CPython is getting a JIT?
I'm sorry to say, but like it has already two. It's getting a third one.
Okay.
So it's just that the first two are a bit useless.
And so like the CPython JIT is moving toward the direction which is similar to what PyPy did. And
I mean, yes, exactly. Just to clarify, your JIT actually makes PyPy like 2 times or 3 times faster, right? Like, well, the Python JIT is right now at 0%. Like
what?
PyPy's JIT is actually quite successful at what it does.
Yes.
Because like, what is the fastest speed that you have seen?
80 times.
Like that's 80.
80 times for real work or not for the like.
We are at 0% faster, right? So like we have to catch up, right?
I also saw it making it slower by 10 times slower.
So fires 10 times. PyPy.
PyPy. Yes, for like degenerate cases.
All right. Well, it's a bit of a gamble. Risky business. But everyone more or less, sees PyPy as like, it's going to mostly like make it faster. Of course, there is all this like native interface overhead and whatnot that very interesting problems that that's why you started to work on HPy.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, exactly.
Frustration is the summary. Yes.
But we heard from Brandt and Mark that, especially from Mark, I think that they plan to go into a interesting direction with the JIT, like this kind of like recording, like the execution traces. I don't know if the terminology is tracing JIT. It sounded a bit different, but
yeah, I mean the terminology they use is trace projection, which is what they do now, versus trace recording, which was they want to do. And trace recording is basically what PyPy does already.
Oh, really?
Yes.
All right.
And it has problems actually. So I mean, both approaches has problems and different trade-offs.
Right.
And I thought that a projection was actually a very good idea because it removes some of the problem that I had with PyPy JIT. So I hope that CPython will find ways to work around them.
Are you hopeful?
About what?
About the JIT getting fast.
The JIT can get fast. it can become unpredictable. That's the biggest. Like the farther you go in peak performance, the most unpredictable thing will become, because it means that you can be very fast if all the stars are aligned.
Right.
Then you change a line of code, and then you are 10 times lower, and you know why.
So you are more worried than it will be kind of like unpredictable performance more than if it's getting faster or not, right?
I mean, it can become like steadily faster, but not by a lot. Or it can be peak performance very, very well, but only if the stars are aligned. I don't think that you can get both. Might be wrong. I might be wrong. I'm often wrong.
So I mean, of course, you have no. I don't know if you have looked at the code or you're following it super closely, but you certainly have been talking with everyone, so you have some idea. So as a JIT expert, like, what is your prediction that is good? Obviously, like, who knows? But like, what is your prediction that we are going to see? Like, what speed up do you think is reasonable to expect in 2 years? Let's say.
Oh, that's very hard. Very
of course,
hard.
But you are an expert, right? I'm not asking you like it's hard questions always.
So, with the current techniques that I see, like, okay, this is like completely random number, of course. Don't trust me. A maximum 2 times faster.
I will take that any moment.
Maximum.
Like, yeah, no, sure. Yeah. Man, I was expecting maximum like 20% faster.
Yeah, and like average 20%.
Well, that's pretty cool. I mean, I think not bad. I mean, it will be, of course, hopefully it will be 10 times as PyPy, of course, but like...
Yeah, I mean, it really depends what is the expectation, basically.
Right. Well, I'm hopeful after listening to this. So we are asking this question to everyone. I mean, we would love to talk to you for like, all day, but like we have like 6 million core developers, and like this episode is already
and you're interviewing even non-core developers.
Yeah, well, I mean, but man, like how can we not interview you? Like it will be such a disservice. So, but we want to ask you a question that we are asking everyone, the hardest question. What is your favorite feature of Python 3.14?
I didn't look at them.
But Gukas has a feature. Can you name Gukas' feature? What is Guka's favorite feature?
Free threading.
Yes. Do you think that you like that feature more than your own feature?
Yes.
What a disappointment.
But I can name you the feature. I don't know if it was 12 or 13 or whatever, which I like the most. PyRepl.
Of course, man, but you lost the opportunity because Guka's new feature is PyRepl has colors now. So it's the syntax highlighting on PyRepl.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You didn't open the Python interpreter in the whole 3.14 cycle?
No.
Yeah. What a champion. What a champion, man. Amazing. Of course, amazing, man. Like, I love it. Yes. So now, okay, we need to explain this because like there is a lot of hidden knowledge in this room, right? So originally, when we started to work on PyRepl, as we have mentioned plenty of times, this was the idea, or the original code was taken from PyPy because, and I think we mentioned on the first episode ever of Core.py after the Spring Inverno. So we mentioned that I was talking to you, and I was telling you this idea that I had of like improving the REPL and having multi-line history, and you told me, well, we already have it in PyPy land, so why you don't like, instead of reinventing the wheel, take the thing, and it's super cool, and you make me a demo. And so that is
and then you spend the next 3 years fixing it.
Yes, suffering. Yes. You told me it's going to be so much easier. I was spoiler. No, nothing worked. But I mean, okay, a lot of things worked, but it was really hard. Like we had to add Unicode support and like white character support and all sort of things. But now we were commenting it the other day. Now PyPy has PyRepl from the other side. Right, like PyPy now took the PyRepl with the fixes, and now it has
that's a very good way of getting.
Yes. So it's a circle, and also we talk about this as well. PyRepl originally as well was done by a CPython core developer, right?
Michael Hudson.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like it's like the pendulum, like the sun, like it's just going around like the projects all the time.
Yeah, PyRepl is very old. I think like early 2000 or so.
Yes. People think it's this fresh thing, but like. No, this is older than everyone like using it these days. But now you can take it again in PyPy and you can JIT it, and now it will be so much fun. Those colors will be amazing.
PyPy already, that's actually annoying because if you start PyPy with the Git logging enabled and you start the repo, well, you still fail a lot of stuff.
Yeah, right. It just blows up. Yeah, we were telling Brandt that, like, we were talking about like whose core developer code run first. Right. Like, of course, now the repo is like pretty early. Well, Antonio, thank you very much for being here. It's always a pleasure. Thank you.
We have with us Larry Hastings, the very proud author of Equals Inside F Strings.
That's right. And I was thinking this morning, we were talking about we talked in the morning session with the ARM engineers about the period when Guido stepped down. Did you realize equal sign in F strings was not added with any sort of official support? It was after Guido stepped down and before we had a PSC. And Eric and I just added it.
It was smuggled in.
A little bit. To be honest, it was, I came up with we were working on the syntax since, I can tell you what day it was actually that I came up with the final syntax. I've told this story before, but it was May 4th at PyCon in Cincinnati. And I remember it was May 4th because Eric and I went to dinner that night to talk it over. We went to a Mexican restaurant. And that would have been impossible the next day because that'd be Cinco de Mayo. Anyway, so, but it was the next day was the first day of the sprints. And so we went down and talked to Guido and we showed him the syntax and he was like, well, go check it in. What are you waiting for? You don't need permission from me. So we just like, well, who's going to stop us?
Right. It took a little longer to fix a PEP that I wrote and checked in with full support, but it turned out it was a bit controversial. So you wrote your own, and now in Python 3.14, it's rolled out finally.
Yeah. This is. I was wondering actually, do I have the longest PEP title of all of the PEPs? No, not you do? Okay, fair enough. Pablo says he does.
Pablo says he does, yes.
This is PEP 649, Deferred Evaluation of Annotations Using Descriptors. I came up, again, I don't know how much you want me to talk about all these sorts of things. I came up with that. What happened was, PyCon 2020 was canceled. And we had the Language Summit online.
Yes.
And during, it was either the 2020 or 2021 virtual Language Summit, I guess.
Yeah.
I was hanging out in the chat and somebody said something about, you know what, I've always wanted a syntax for delayed evaluation in Python. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. What would that look like? And so I played around with it for a while and I came up with a syntax that I liked. And I literally realized that I'd created a new keyword. And if you replaced my keyword with the word lambda, it worked in existing Python. Because we already have, like lambda just fixes everything and solves all those problems. But that, in the back of my mind, I suddenly realized, I was like, oh, wait a minute, we could use a similar sort of functional-based approach to delay the evaluation of annotations, and that might solve the problems for the typing guys and yada yada. And then we were off to the races. But that's where the idea came from originally.
So you wrote 649, but then 100 PEPs passed, and Jelle decided to just jump in just so that he could 749 have the sister PEP for how this should be rolled out. So now there's two PEPs describing the feature. Like, how do you feel about that? Like,
well, it doesn't hurt my feelings at all. Jelle did the implementation of 649, and there were a couple of things that was like 749. It's been a while since I read it, but the way that I remember it was, okay, here's 649. Here's something that they didn't think about. Here is this funny edge case that we need to solve out. Here is a funny interaction with type statements, I guess. And Jelle was the type statement guy. So, like it is a modification. It is an add-on to the side of 649. Doesn't hurt my feelings a bit. And the other thing I will say is that Jelle, I don't think Jelle wrote the type statement PEP, but he was the implementer of that PEP as well.
Yeah.
And he used 649's cool new delayed evaluation through a property technology stuff to implement the type statement as well. So it actually showed up in that before it showed up in annotations, even though the annotations PEP was older, I think.
Right. So is there any feature in Python 3.14 that you like more than the delayed evaluation of type annotations? Like, is there anything more?
So the way I felt about 649 is I I like the runtime use of annotations. So when 649 was accepted, I had one. And at that point, it's just like, okay, now we need to clean up and everything and so on and so forth. And so it was like when Yele stepped up and did the implementation, I was like, great, then I don't have to do it. I had a working prototype, of course, but the prototype is out of date. So I wasn't, I consider it totally fine that it was until 3:15 because there were some things we needed to iron out. I haven't paid that much attention to the other new stuff in 3:15, to be honest. I'm sure I've read the what's new document, but I don't actually remember what's in it. So I'm a little out of step, I guess. I'm a little behind the times. I still, I have a bunch of libraries that I've been publishing and nobody's using them with me, fair enough. But I support all the way back to like 3.6 on some of them. One of them is like 3.8 because it was like I needed some new thing in the tokenizer. So like, okay, I'll give up on 3.6 and 3.7. Yes, I certainly remember your thing, but that was not. Oh crap! What was that about? Pablo showed me the logo for his talk that he gave at PyCon this year, where he dressed up as a banana, him and Yuri. And this was, I remember the sun turns into a red giant before you can finish computation thing. I don't remember what that was specifically. Yeah, I know, it was something that Łukasz gave you, yeah.
It was about async IO introspection.
Oh yeah, see, I don't use async IO either. You have to understand what kind of a hermit I am, where I don't use any of these things. I don't use typing, I don't use async IO, I'm just like, I'm so happy with normal Python. I'm happy, like, I've got multiple inheritance. It's so great. So
I mean, it makes sense. Like, the whole point was that debugging that was a pain. My favorite comment, I think it was you actually, who told me about this. You overheard some person talking to some friend, and it's like, despite all the theatrics, it was an interesting talk about async IO internals.
That wasn't me. The theatrics I think it was the best talk at PyCon this year. Because I wasn't speaking.
Well, so if there is no other favorite Python 3.14,
if you want to show me the 3.14, I'm happy to cheat. Let's look at the what's new list in Python 3.14.
Let's look at it right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me read you the official kind of like flashy new features from the release notes, and then you pick it up, or you correct yourself if you want. Free-threaded Python is officially supported. It means that it's not going to explode on you monthly. Evaluation like 649, template strings, multiple interpreters in the standard library is kind of like official. Compression CSTD for like C standard compression. Except star expressions now don't need to use parentheses. Syntax highlighting.
That's very exciting, right?
Well, I authored that, so yeah. It's easiest change in the parser. Syntax highlighting in PyREPL by Łukasz.
Yep.
My other PEP, zero overhead external debugger interface that shows us.
Oh yeah, I saw your talk about that too.
With Ivona, yeah.
Yeah. With it's like you look in a file on disk or something.
Yeah, I mean that's the kind of like machinery, but the user-facing feature is PDB-P to attach to a running process.
Yeah, which I have wanted in the past. Yeah.
UAD, well, disallow return break continue in a final block, very controversial. Victor's CPython for configuring Python, the tail call thing, better error messages, and yeah, that's mainly it.
Everybody likes better error messages, of course. At this point, there are a couple of things that I've done in the past. It's like, okay, if X is 3, that's going to be faster. It's always going to work. But now the compiler or the Python interpreter chides me about that at runtime.
Yes,
it's like,
yes.
Oh, did you mean equal sign? I bet you meant equals. And so I'm like, all right, okay, I'll stop saying X is 3. It will always work in CPython. It's like there are a couple of things like that. Like, at least it doesn't chide me for if X is none.
I mean, yeah, of course. Like there is a bunch that we have added that obviously the biggest, the usage of this is people learning. But the way we normally actually go at this is not actually like only asking like teachers and whatnot. It's like it's our own shell. Like the other day I made instead of from X import Y, I say import Y from X. And of course you see it a lot, of course, but like that was a good one, right? Just to show, because you can capture both and flip them and say this is exactly what so for me obviously
in a language that, like, again, I like the sort of austerity of the Python interface. In another language like Perl, they might have said, you know what, let's just go ahead and accept import X from Y or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, they might have just
but
made it work.
It's nice to just
Yeah. And I don't mind the error message and so on. So what I was starting to say a minute ago, I feel like this sort of like negativity plays well, like criticism plays well on these podcasts.
Honesty plays well.
Yeah, well, yes, but I'm willing to talk a little smack. I think that T-strings are a missed opportunity. The thing that I was looking for in T-strings was delayed evaluation. I wanted us to hide a function call, and you call the function, you get the value out. So this delays evaluation, and now we have this whole new world. And instead, T-strings are literally just sort of half-digested F-strings, which I get it. I see the use cases, et cetera, but it's not the whole new world of functionality. It's just like, and now we can use it in a pre-digested form, and we know which parts are string and which parts are value before so that you can only escape the string imputed parts for HTML escaping or something like that.
Right.
It just didn't do as much as I wanted. The other thing that I personally didn't like was I'm not super excited about format spec. Like, I thought this was an opportunity to, I've spent some time staring at templating recently. Yeah. Like Jinja and Mako and Django templates all have this feature called filters. Mm-hmm. And the way that you specify your formatting is by specifying multiple filters and yada, yada. And maybe it's not super performant. Is that something we ever cared that much about in Python? No, I don't think so.
But these days,
we would rather have a better interface than have something that is like performant. And so I think this would have been an opportunity to experiment with filters and use the filtering interface for T-strings, and we didn't do it. And so it's like, okay, well, so T-strings are, it's kind of a missed opportunity in two ways. I wanted deferred evaluation, I wanted filters. It was so uninterested. The people working on the PEP were so interested in this, I gave up. And so I'm like, all right, not going to happen. So I was just like, all right, I'll just make my own, with with the hookers and blackjack or something. I'll make my own T-strings. Yeah.
Yeah. So it seems like this deferred evaluation really caught your attention in many ways.
I think so. And so again, this goes back to, it would be nice to have a deferred evaluation facility in Python, and also we don't need one. We don't need language support for it because we already have it. You just write a Lambda, and all we need is not even a protocol. It's like an informal protocol. We just need a convention, really. Mm-hmm. All we need to do is say, you know what, you want a deferred evaluation, just have a zero argument callable and you're done. Mm-hmm. And if we started doing that and putting that in APIs, people would start using it, and that would start getting people thinking in that way, and then maybe we'd have more of it. Again, I've heard people say, definitely, it would be so great to have a deferred evaluation here and there. And we're starting to sneak it in the edges. Again, the type statement, and now annotations. And I think people have talked about it in other places. I can't remember.
So now the lazy imports is sort of being revisited. So if you do get a lazy soft keyword, maybe we can stick it in other places than just imports.
Oh, now that we have a lazy soft keyword, you could use lazy x equals y, or x equals lazy y. Yeah, I wouldn't do it either, but...
Pablo looks terrified, but
I'm partially terrified, yes, but I'm just trying to say that we are not adding a way that you can do that. Like, in the sense that, because the lazy import only affects the import statement, and that's a very small subgrammar is contained there, so it doesn't escape.
Of course, yeah. It's the soft keyword it's context specific.
Right. So, but my point is that if it was a hard keyword, obviously now you cannot have anything called lazy. This just protects against that, but you cannot just easily place it in other places. I mean, the only thing is that it's going to appear in the keyword module.
You knew though, it's already started to happen. Once we had the peg parser, we had our first soft keywords. It was like, well,
it's
doors
only a matter
open,
of
guys.
time.
Yeah,
yes.
Now it's just like everyone is going to say their favorite feature is like, well, now I could have a soft keyword to do that. And so how many have you seen like a couple dozen proposals for soft keywords to add to the language? And you're like, no, you guys, stop, please. Just, yeah.
Is there anything in particular that you worked on this week? Since 649 is a done deal, it's like it's in the past. It's already implemented, it's rolled out.
Oh,
so
yeah.
like what's next for you?
It's done. No, I wasted my time this week, as it turns out. I thought I was going to add a new feature, and this is one of these things. So I was thinking about this a minute ago. Do you guys know like the Guido's time machine joke? Okay. Yes. Yeah. Guido already did this in his time machine, and in a confusing way. So I had this idea. I thought, okay. One thing that I don't like about eval and exec is they can't see non-local variables. They can see locals because you pass in locals.
Yes.
They can see globals because you pass in globals. Where do you pass in the non-locals? You can't. And so I had this idea. Okay, I'm going to propose a new built-in called non-locals. Very easy to write, turns out, real straightforward. And I was going to add support for a non-locals keyword to eval and exec. And they were going to take this third thing, and I was going to merge them together, and then I was going to hide the non-locals in the locals dictionary. I was going to merge it behind the scenes, and then unmerge it, like spill it back after we were done. And I was playing around with that. I literally got most of the way through the implementation when I discovered that non-locals show up in the globals dictionary, returned by globals, like returned by locals. Yeah. And they're unpacked, so they're not in the cell variable. They're just like there. So if you declare it as non-local, it shows up in locals. And if you just implicitly use one, if you refer to one in your local nested function, then it just shows up in locals. And so it's like, oh, they were there all along. I'm not so excited. It's like, why are non-locals in my locals dictionary?
Yeah.
That's the wrong name.
That's strange.
But the fact is it's there. The only thing I have remaining to do is to go back and figure out if this has literally been true ever since we got nested scopes in Python 2.1. I looked up the version number and I was like, okay, did non-locals show up in the locals dictionary in 2.1? Maybe they do. Maybe Guido's time machine goes that far back. So anyway, that was what I did all day. In between presentations at the sprints,
there were quite a few.
There were quite a few. I think there were. We had. What we had more of than we really needed at this sprint? We had presentations and pizza.
Which flavor of pizza was your favorite? We ask everybody that.
I stopped eating pizza yesterday, and today I went to the barn food court thing. So yes. I've had pepperoni. I guess the chicken was slightly more appealing than the pepperoni. So that was Tuesday lunch.
Yeah, Tuesday.
Yeah, right. And I didn't even pay attention. It was like it's 5 days of pizza, and I think we were treated to about 7 flavors. Because the Monday and Wednesday were literally the same. They were both pepperoni and cheese, and then Tuesday was cheese and chicken. And then yesterday was mushroom and ham or mushroom and other vegetables. I didn't even look at what today was because I had a cheese sandwich. Margarita? But they said margarita. Margarita is crushed tomatoes and basil and cheese.
I mean, they were non-ARM affiliated Italians that say there was a okay margarita. So
really?
I trust that, yeah. Antonio.
Antonio. As far as I looked it up again, what is the computer programmer if not a pedant? Margarita, that's a cheese pizza. Margarita pizza is crushed tomatoes, not tomato sauce, and it should have basil on it. It's the 3 colors. So
the 3 colors, yes, I've heard of that too.
Yeah. So
the
flag of Italy, and a couple others, I think, and. I'm not going to argue with anybody about it particularly, but I was like, it's cheese pizza. It's just cheese pizza.
All right.
And I like cheese pizza, okay, but maybe not 4 days in a row.
We should have you for a full episode.
Sure. Maybe I can. I'm trying to get people interested in this the linked list. Maybe I can talk about I'm just working off in my own little world on my own little projects that nobody else seems to care about. I publish these things and I don't get any bug reports. And that's when you know that nobody's using it. So
users are a great thing, but they're also the worst thing. So you might be lucky in that regard there.
In some regards, yes, but it would be more satisfying if people were actually using this stuff. So I don't know. Maybe I need to do a better job of advertising. Maybe podcast appearances is the key to that.
We can offer that. So thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, guys.
Hello, doctor. Hello, doctor. Like, how are you doing?
Hello, doctor.
Hello,
Wait, are you not a doctor?
I am the doctor, yes, but are you a doctor?
I am a doctor.
All right, so doctor to doctor. But our listeners don't know you yet. So do you want to present yourself?
I am Hood Chatham, and I work on the JavaScript runtime Pythons. So
Sounds very cool. So what are you working in this week in particular?
So the goal is to move all of the JavaScript foreign function interface that we have in Pyodide, which is our Python distribution for browsers and Node and JavaScript runtimes, and take all this stuff and eventually move it upstream into the CPython repository. So that's what I've been working on.
Yeah, so a lot of people actually, for the people that don't know, like PyScript is and Pyodide and all that stuff, can you kind of describe it very generically?
Yeah, so generically what we have is a system for running Python in like websites. And so it includes a version of the Python runtime, which is CPython, cross-compiled to WebAssembly to run in the browser, which is very cool. It has it uses Musel libc. It has like a Linuxy file system. All the system calls are implemented in JavaScript. The file system is also implemented in JavaScript. And all of this incredible work that, Mozilla mostly did to make this crazy nonsense happen inside of browsers. Originally, it was all designed to make video, games work that were written to run on like a Linux game. And then they just want to like make a 3D game run in the browser. Okay, so we take the some script and stuff and we use it to compile Python. And then Pyodide added a bunch of runtime stuff for like package installation and for foreign function interface. Because, just like the way that in normal computer, C is the language of the computer that you need to speak C in order to do things. In a browser, you need to speak JavaScript in order to do things. So we have all this foreign function interface to allow Python to interoperate well with the browser environment. And so that's the Pyodide runtime. And then we also have a bunch of build tools. The Python ecosystem packages are not good at cross-building. So it's a heavy lift to trick these things into being cross-built for this weird platform. And then there's a package distribution.
So this spring, have you succeeded at your goals? Like, have you achieved the nirvana of the JavaScript integration?
It's going well. I've just been, applying boring coding standards to stuff that I'd already copied over.
He's making it sound like it's boring, but this is like dark wizard level stuff. This is like you need to know, like linkers and like all the JavaScript stuff and all the Python stuff and like, this is like not easy, right?
Yeah, there's definitely several places where, sometimes you like write code and sometimes you solve code where it's like, if there start to be enough constraints, then, you made it work by like sort of mashing the buttons until all of the different constraints stopped disagreeing with each other. But I mean, this is my favorite thing to do. So,
So for the last question, very relevant. What is your favorite flavor of pizza?
Yeah, this flavor of pizza was pretty good today.
Yes, because it was only one. Well, technically two, no? Like margarita and the other thing.
Antonio didn't like it so much, but...
Antonio's Italian. Fight. They must fight. We must invite all the Italians to the same episode and make them fight for like the pizza. Well, Hood, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Hello, Victor.
Hi.
You're famous in this podcast.
Yeah, I know.
Victor listens to us a lot, and we talk a lot about Victor. You do a lot of things. How is the sprint so far, Victor?
The sprint is going well. It's good to see so many people and to get together.
So what are you working on? Where are you working on these days?
I'm implementing my PEP 782.
The bytes writer thing, or which one?
Yes, this one.
Yes. Can you explain it to our listeners what it does?
It's a new API to create bytes objects in a C API, because I'm working mostly on the C API these days. and it's a safe way to create an object.
For writing bytes, no?
For writing bytes, yes, correct.
Because you were also the author of a very famous other API to write Unicode.
Yes, the PyUnicode writer, which was implemented in Python 3.14.
3.14?
Yes.
No, I've been using that forever.
Oh, yes, it was a private, but now it's there is a public one.
Oh, okay, totally different. Like it's underscore by Unicode writer. It's evil cousin. It's evil cousin. Right. So this goes to be public, like directly.
In 3.14, it's public, yeah.
But it already existed before, right? Like we have been using it internally.
Yeah, it was used by many codecs to encode and decode strings.
All right. It's going to be very useful.
It's more efficient than creating strings manually. It's a smart way to allocate memory, and it's more efficient.
Right. Because otherwise you will need to create the strings and add them together. And it's very messy to do in the C API.
Right.
So what else are you working on apart from that? Is just that, or are you working on other PEPs, or do you have any other interesting ideas for the future maybe?
I'm still trying to promote private functions to public functions in the C API, and trying to see what people need in the C API to fulfill their needs. So I'm discussing with different maintainers, like Spio3 maintainers or CPython developer, to see what they need and trying to add functions for that.
It's also mainly for free-threaded, or like in general new functions?
In general.
Right. So how do you think free-threading is going? Like, what's your opinion on the progress of free-threading?
At the beginning, I was very afraid by the quantity of work that we have to do to implement free-threading. But nowadays, I'm very surprised at how good it's going. They made huge progress in the two previous versions. And I'm very confident that it will be stable soon and complete. And I'm really confident that we need something for free-threading. It's a feature that everybody will love in the future of Python.
Right. Would you love it? Would you use all these multi-threading bugs and race conditions?
I will use it, yes, for sure.
Right. Well, Victor, one of the questions we are asking everyone is like, what is your favorite feature of Python 3.14?
14?
Yes, all times, right? We know that this is the past and you're working on the future now, but...
I will speak for myself. I added tons of functions in the C API, and I really love that we have public functions for different needs, and like the PyUnicode writer, for example.
Is that your favorite function, like from all the functions you added? Because your name is, of course, as always, all the way in the 3.14, like what's new? Like you search for Victor Stinner, it's like 10 entries for Victor Stinner, as always. So what is your favorite function that you added?
Yeah, the PyUnicode writer, I think, is the best one.
Right, yeah, that's probably the most useful one as well. Yeah. Well, Victor, thank you very much for joining us.
You're welcome.
Awesome. The one and only Dr. Shannon, famous Cordal PY entity but now with us, finally. How are you doing, Mark?
Good.
Yes. So now everybody is waiting to know, what are you working... Well, no, actually, before this, do you have any announcements?
Oh, yes, I'm starting working at ARM in a couple of weeks.
Wow! ARM employee. So now Mark abandons x86-64 and joins all the 6 trillion flavors of ARM development. Yes. What is your favorite ARM flavor of architecture?
I don't have one.
You don't have any?
I'm open-minded about this, for now anyway.
Right. So what are you working on this week, Mark?
This week? Who knows? Everything and anything.
Well, but you need to be concrete for the podcast.
Yeah. What am I working on? Updating PRs, helping Ken Jin on working on the new tracing front end for the JIT. So we had a long meeting about like where we're going with the JIT stuff the other day. So.
Oh, actually, yes, that's a good point. Like you have a plan or something, no? Like how that meeting went.
Well. We have a plan. I mean, we had plans before. We have different plans now.
What is the plan
Plans
now?
are always evolving.
What is the plan now? What is the plan
Okay,
now?
the plan now is a slightly different front end for the JIT. So currently the JIT is what's called, we do projection of these traces. So we stop at some point when we spot the interpreter says it's hot.
Right.
And then we try and like project where the code would execute, and then we optimize that.
Right.
We're experimenting with, this may not happen, but it looks promising, what's called trace recording. So we carry on executing in the interpreter, but record what's happened.
Right.
Up to a point, and then we stop, and then we optimize that. That traditionally has the problem that you lose some of the information we have with all the statistical stuff, but there's no reason why we can't do both.
Right.
So the idea is we'll carry on tracing until we're confident that we would remain on trace for future executions drops to some level, 30, 40% or something like that.
Right.
And then we just optimize that chunk. And then we've got the statistical information we've gathered in the interpreter as well. So sometimes we might see divergence where the trace we've taken execution path goes one way, but the branches we actually sort of recorded previously go another.
Right.
So that probably means that we maybe want to shorten that trace because we're not very confident that we'll remain on it.
Right.
Other times it will match up perfectly. Most likely it will match up, and that's good, and that just gives us... So we have the best of both, like kind of statistical information we've gathered from previous executions in the interpreter, plus the sort of recording of the actual values for that particular trace. And what that's good for is things like stuff where it's just very awkward to work out where the code's going to go.
Right.
Like if you're iterating over a generator, and the generator has got multiple yields in it, you know, you could come in and out of one place and out of another and so on. And it's very hard to project where that's going to go. Whereas if we record it, we at least have like one execution path.
So is that at the cost of memory, I suppose, right? Like I suppose there is a penalty.
I mean, the bigger that... Okay, so the more we compile, the more memory we use. I mean, it's as simple as that.
Right.
The risk is obviously we have just duplicate the code a lot of the time. So we might have like 4 or 5 different paths, like overlap. So they're the same path in the original Python code, but we have like 4 or 5 different versions JITted, and that could start increasing the memory significantly. So we kind of want to limit that down to not too many cases. But that's usually not a problem. What tends to happen is there's a few places in the code that's kind of like things go all different ways, and there's a bit of duplication stuff. But a lot of code's pretty simple, straightforward. It's just one type, and we only have one version anyway. So that's sort of trade-off where we've got, like most of the time it works great, but those few cases where things get a bit, complicated, then maybe we need a few extra things. We don't know yet. We don't know what the numbers are, but we already have mechanisms for like just not generating tons of machine code. I mean, we're pretty good at tidying up after ourselves anyway.
Is this like direction going to be able to use all the previous work that you have done so far, or like do you need to...
that's one of the things for it. So the actual sort of projection code, that will effectively get sort of thrown away. But that was a fairly small piece of the code, and that was written early on anyway. So designs have changed and things have evolved. Right. So sort of code that was kind of needing a rewrite anyway at this point.
We never had Mark on the podcast as I guess. No, we need to fix this. We need to fix this. So the saddest part of this, like these interviews are like very short. So because we have like 300 core developers to get here, so we don't want to be like 6 trillion hours. But we should fix it. We should have Mark. Especially now that you have new employment, amazing. So because this is very interesting. But before you go, we're asking this question to everyone. So, what is your favorite feature of Python 3.14? Maybe yours or someone else's.
I'm not actually sure what is in 3.14.
You don't know what is 3.14?
What's in 3.14? What's the new
your
feature?
Own features.
Yeah, but they're kind of like little obscure things, like little improvements in performance and so on. So
the one that you're most proud. Okay.
The incremental garbage collector that didn't get into 3.13. I think it was 3.13, but it wasn't because it was reverted.
This has never been released in the wild.
It was reverted.
Oh, it's true.
So 3.4. Yeah, the incremental garbage collector.
That's fucking old. Yeah. It's true. Like, come on, it's like all.
It was a whole year old. Ancient.
We were different people with different aspirations, and Mark was working in a different company at the time. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's kind of cool. Like that's very impactful, especially now with all the free threaded things. Right. Amazing. Well, we will have more Mark soon in the future. Amazing. Well, thank you very much, Mark.
Thank you.
All right, still with us? That was a long one, huh? 18 interviews, and we still have another 12 to go. Those will have to wait for part 2 of those interviews with core developers and other contributors at the Core Sprint Week in Cambridge at ARM. We are incredibly happy to have the opportunity to interview so many people in person, since hearing from them directly on what drives them and what is the interesting bit of Python that they personally care about and work on works way better than if we were just referring the happenings of the core sprint ourselves. So, sorry, not sorry, there's another 2.5 hours coming in part 2. See you on the other side of that.